there. I gotta change my background here. We're going back there. Let's go find Facebook. Afternoon, evening, good morning, and good night, wherever you might be on our colonized planet. What's my memory? That is there's YouTube. Put the comments in. Good morning, YouTube. I didn't do anything a year ago. Is that how the memory works on Facebook? They only show you the memories from like a year ago. I think they're memory today. I guess that's because maybe I was working. A year ago today I was working. I was actually doing things. Sometimes people ask me, how are you online all the time? You're always on Facebook. It's just like, no, actually, I'm not. Yesterday I was breaking down pallets, building a wall. I got my pallet breaking down to just a few seconds per pallet. Upcycle, people, upcycle, downcycle, recycle, uncycle, O-cycle. Do some cycling. Cycle, don't buy new, no consumerism. Let's not do that. That's why the world is broke. Upcycle, that's what I was doing yesterday. I wasn't online. I said, well, how come you're always talking online? I said, well, you know, in between doing things, I'm listening to music. What was yesterday's music? I was working hard. I was listening to Johnny Cash, Brother Cash, and I think I had Lucinda Williams a little bit. Then I jumped around to Tribe Called Quest. I backed up to AC/DC. I jumped over to Guns N' Roses. And hang on, let me share it. So I listen to me, and when I'm listening to music, because there's something phenomenal about artists. There's something phenomenal about it. Did I already share that? I think I shared it. Okay. Thank you all for sharing. And so while I'm like listening to music, because there's so much depth buried in it, like some of the deepest people I know outside of philosophers are my musician friends. They are amazing, like in thought. And they whittle all types of goodies all into music. So I'm just working on stuff, and as I'm working, it's like a thought comes to mind, like, oh yeah! And then I have to post something real quick. I go back to work. Because that's the world we live in, y'all. Slavery. You have to make money, baby. Money is enslavement. And we love it. We love it. This is why I agree. I'm often talking already. Let me stop. Yeah, Lucinda. We know what Lucinda, she has one song, Heaven. I forgot the name of it. Drunken Soldier. No, it's not Drunken Soldier. What's the name of that song? Every time it comes on, I just feel like drinking a bottle. Laying back, talking about my woes. That's part of the reason I push people away early. I say things pushing away early, Heaven. I say things like, that's why y'all need to stop with that white privilege. If you've ever listened to some country, you ever listen to some ghetto inner city hip hop, you will understand there's no such thing as black nor white privilege. That's why I don't mess with none of it. I don't mess with none of it. People living bad. People living bad. And they sung about it, but y'all don't want to listen to it. Y'all just want to get on your side and fight with other people over who's poorer and who had it worse. And everybody got it bad. Everybody's doing bad. Money's enslavement. And so while I'm whistling while I work, these thoughts come to my mind. I think a lot of the singers put them in, so I try to quote the musician and what they say. I'm not really on Facebook, I'm just working. Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. I want to talk about a few things today. I always want to talk about, well, I'm not sure where this one came from. Oh, let me bring my comments up. How's everybody doing this morning? Always look when we tell you not to. Observe children, y'all. Children, the smartest thing on this planet. Smartest thing on this planet. I'm getting so sick Oh, I get so sick of these Democrats and Republicans. It's so hard to watch now. I couldn't watch. I watched 2-3 news clips this morning and I was done. I can't watch them go back and forth and argue the fantasy world. I can't. It's like, y'all know y'all fighting over Venezuela, Golan Heights, and all of this nonsense in the news. I'm like, y'all, you're not the matter's not here, people. There's no matter. There's no such thing as matter. There is no such thing as matter, so none of that matters. I watch the news from only really one perspective nowadays. I watch it from the perspective of don't kill people, don't rape people, don't enslave people. That's it. I don't watch it as a black man. I don't watch it as an American. I don't watch it as a Democrat or Republican. I just watch it, and y'all killing people. Y'all need to stop. You're raping people. You need to stop. You're sending guns all over the planet. You need to stop. So I spend time on Brien Foerster. I'm gonna show you a little Brien Foerster today. Brien Foerster, if you don't follow him on YouTube, you should. Great brother, great brother. Archaeology is the key, baby. It's the key. It is the key. Camp on from yesterday's post, yesterday's discussion we had on Admiral Byrd and what they told him, what the ancient creatures that live under this planet that some of y'all call hell, because they don't want you to go there. Oh, that's another one. That's another place you're not supposed to look. That's why they call it hell. Don't go down there. They drilled down real deep. I hear screaming. What was that? It was an American drill team. They drilled down so deep and they said they heard screaming. We're getting close to hell. I wasn't screaming. I was partying. We were getting close to the people who live in the inner earth, the people who like took all that technology that Admiral Byrd told you about, that all the cultures did. They went down there. Anyway. Always look where you're not supposed to look. Every child knows that. Every child knows that. They are born with curiosity. Observe children. They always do the opposite of what you don't want them to do. Good example. Here's an example. When I'm hiding Christmas presents, because I mess up on the hiding Christmas presents part. I don't know that I ever get Dad of the Year award. Sometimes they find Christmas presents in April. Did I tell y'all about that one? When they found the Christmas presents in April? My kids are funny. What happened? I hide Christmas presents and I forget where I hid them. Because my kids are sneaky. They sneaky little bastards. They just like me. They just like me. They don't like no authority, man. They don't get down with no authority. They always fighting Pop. They always some velociraptors testing the fence. They love me, but they got to get free. They don't like no authority, just like me. I gotta hide their presents real good, and sometimes I'll hide them. We live in an old house. Old house. They were scared of the basement. I called it the dungeon. I said, that's where they used to kill people, son. It's where the ghosts live. Woo! So I hid the presents down there. And when they were young, they wouldn't go down there. The older they got, the braver they got. They stick the chest out, get a little hair on there until they go down and start looking. They knew to look, because that's where I hid their presents. And so, of course, come April, because sometimes I forget, I have to hide them all over the place. And my son went down and said, Daddy, what the hell is this? He doesn't talk like that. He doesn't talk. My kids, they don't even curse. But not around me. I ain't no fool. I ain't no fool. All right? I might be a lot of things. I ain't no fool. I ain't cussing around my father. But when I got to school, farm. But he went down in the basement, came back, like, Daddy, what's this? I was like, oh, I forgot about a Christmas stash. So, but you're always supposed to look where you're told not to look. And they figured that out. I'm gonna jump into a Brien Foerster video. He's amazing, amazing. Ancient archaeologies, they don't ever want you to look at ancient archaeology, right? Like archaeology is a locked-in community. I only got a few friends who are archaeologists and they'll tell you, they're like soldiers, right? You gotta get them out of their element and they'll be honest with you and they'll tell you the truth that, yeah, it's locked in. You're not allowed to discover anything outside of the reality that the establishment want to keep, like the universities, right? And that's a good example. You know, a lot of them were very heavily Christian-based. You're not allowed to find the giants. You're not allowed to find, Mary Leakey figured that out. You're not allowed to find human footprints going back millions of years that confirm what Admiral Byrd said in his diary. You're not allowed to confirm that we've been here for millions of years. You're only allowed to find things that make their reality work. And it's not a perfect system, because like I said, the soldiers, when you get them out of their element, they'll tell you what the wars are really about. You know, just like archaeology. When you get them out of their element, they'll tell you, yeah, we're not allowed to just we're finding stuff all over the place. When I was in Belize, my goodness, I was standing on top of the largest pyramid in the world. And I'm like, doesn't anybody see this? Y'all, it's the pyramid, right? That's in this brother's backyard. We were touring down there. And he's like, I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you one of the biggest, the largest complexes in the nation and in the world. It's in my backyard. I said, in your backyard? Man, you've been smoking too much of that stuff, haven't you? Y'all down here, y'all legal, y'all can grow herbal stuff, and y'all smoking that stuff. We went for a hike in his backyard, and damn now I'm climbing up a pyramid, and I'm looking around like, this is a freaking pyramid. And the archaeologists, you can see what he said, well, the archaeologists are working on it, but they're not allowed to talk about it. And so you can see where they were digging into the graves and finding stuff. And I got to the top of the pyramid. I'm taking pictures. They're like, oh, damn it, I'm on the biggest pyramid. Ain't nobody has seen this. And he's like, yeah, and I look in the distance. And I looked in the distance. And he's like, you see that big mound right there? It's like, yeah. He said, that's the other one. I said, the other what? He said, the other pyramid. He said, there's a whole complex in between and a river running through. I'm like, how in the hell is all of this here and nobody knows about it? It's like, well, they don't have enough archaeologists, you know, to go around. So, I mean, archaeology is a locked-in community as well. But if you want to know about your ancients, go back. Because the Mayans told you, and we'll look at Brien Foerster as soon as I get my comments up here. He told you that the Mayans got there and were like, yeah, we got here and we ain't built this. Somebody else built it. Like the Egyptians. They got there, it's like, yeah, we didn't build none of this. The gods built it. Where a lot of the gods came from. We got here and the gods built it. Meanwhile, it was probably just an old civilization of human beings. The calamity came, like Admiral Byrd in his diary said, they went underground, and of course the structure stayed, but not the technology. And that's why your government has motivations to lie to you. Everything is about technology and war and getting a one-up over others and creating breakaway civilization. So always look where you're not supposed to look. You are not matter. Everything. I heard it best put in a lecture yesterday while I was breaking down pallets, getting ready to enter the Olympics, the Green Olympics, Earth Olympics. You don't need, damn sports Olympics. We need sustainable Earth Gaia Olympics. We need to be able to break down pallets and rebuild structures, build cob houses. I was working on my time yesterday, breaking pallets down. I was listening to a lecture and he said everything is frequency and resonance. And I was like, whoa. He said matter does not exist. We talk about the atomic mass and we do a lot of guessing down at that level. At this point, he said they've proven with the Hadron Collider that everything is frequency and resonance. That moving ancient stones isn't an issue. Cutting ancient stones isn't an issue. Flying and doing all the things that we wrote about, the V-Manas and all that, none of that stuff is an issue if everything is like Nikola Tesla seemed to indicate that everything is frequency and resonance. It's powerful, powerful, and it agrees with a lot of the old scriptures. Pay attention, pay attention. If you actually are a frequency, you might want to act like one. If you're a frequency, Golan Heights may not matter. If you're a frequency, all of these wars may not matter. They only do this because we make them matter. Money may not matter if you're frequency. Because that's what enslaved us. People still fuss at me. I'm not done. We might even look at some Michael Tellinger today. I listened to him yesterday too. Telling the truth. Money was invented to enslave the human race, and we are enslaved. Why? Because everything you do is for money. Money. That's why you play the Monopoly game. That's why you roll the dice every morning. And it's in this fallacy that you can actually win, that you can beat Parker Brothers at Monopoly, knowing that the same people win every single Monopoly game. About that? As kids, we would play Monopoly, like, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Roll the dice, buying property, making other people pay oppressive rents when they land on your property. And if they can't afford to live, then they go to prison. You literally pay taxes or you go to slavery. Every human being is born a slave, and money is the enslavement tool, period. Meanwhile, who wins every Monopoly game? Does anybody know the answer to that? Anybody? We're gonna play a question. Who wins every Monopoly game? I know you think it's the smartest person. The person with the most money, right? That's how the rules work. The person with the most money at the end of the game wins Monopoly. The person with the most money at the end of their life apparently wins human fallacy, non-frequency life, enslavement life. The people who print the money win every single game of Monopoly. The bank owns more money at the end of the game than everybody else every time. Why? Because that's the way the world works. You can't win this game. You can't get ahead in this game. You can only step on other people's necks and act like it's okay. That's all you can do. Every single. Those who print the money, the controllers of money, own you. They own the game. While you blame rich people. They ain't got nothing to do with it. They were just a little luckier. We live in survival of the fittest. Or we let you die or go into enslavement if you aren't lucky enough. Because it's not really even being fit. Yeah, Mary, that's what we're predators. Predator class. And we support this predation. We could bring this mess to an end, but we want to keep doing it. That's why I always look where they say don't look. Wherever we're not supposed to look, that's where I kind of spend my time. In between little Lucinda Williams and Tribe Called Quest. And I did like, you listen to all of that? All of that. Nora Jones, Jack Johnson, anything that whistle while I work, because slavery is hard. You gotta have your slavery music. All right, let me turn the music down. We'll get into it. So check it out. Because I couldn't listen to this nonsense and them arguing about who has the most money, because that's all the whole right-left discussions are always about. I was listening to Brien Foerster this morning. I couldn't do it today. I tried my hardest. I tried. I can't hear listening to them going back and forth, debating the fake world, the fantasy world, the Matrix. What in the Matrix are we going to do next? As opposed to get out of the Matrix and in the Matrix. And Brien took us to, where are we at? Cusco. This is, we are in a city in Cusco. You know, I'm going to tell you this. So what really turned me on to ancient archaeology in terms of resonance. What really turned me on is, where was I at? I don't even remember. Cacao. I was at Cacao and climbed to the top of one of the pyramids. Went in one of the rooms. Did everything I was supposed to. I climbed into every little backspace and corner I could. They had bones and bodies in this room that wasn't covered up. I went in that room, climbed down, looked around, sniffed, did everything. And I got in one room, and this was actually at the top. It was at the top. And I just talked. And the reverberation of my voice, cannot describe. I'm going to tell you that however they built a lot of this stuff, they definitely had frequency in mind. They definitely had vibration and sound in mind. I've never heard that anywhere in my life. I used to play the saxophone, the clarinet, the flute, the drums, the piano for a minute. I've been in jazz band, orchestra. I was in all the bands, marching band. I did all of them things. I almost went to Carnegie Hall with our band, but we was a poor little black school. And we had a couple poor whites in there, had a couple poor Chinese folk in there. So we didn't get to go to Carnegie Hall. Somebody knew that we were coming. They're like, wait a minute, whoa, hey, wait. Y'all bringing the poor Negroes and the white trash? No, you guys can't come here. So they ended that Carnegie Hall trip, but I've never heard that type of vibration and sound in my life. And I just started, and actually I made a video of it. I'll post the video, but even in the video, you can't describe it. When you make a noise, it reverberates. You can feel your voice change, and it goes throughout your entire body. However they built these things, definitely had something to do with frequency and all of that. So I follow Brien Foerster. I want to jump into, he's talking about, where are we at? The Coriacha Courtyard is where he's at. Always look where you're not supposed to. This is just a great example of why.
They did this kind of work, but what you'll see, again, up above, you'll see that is Inca style, but it's based on a foundation of megalithic blocks. And the megalithic work is far more sophisticated than what the Inca did. So this is insinuating that the megalithic wall is older. And this building, called the Coricancha, which is in Cusco, is believed to have been the first building that the Inca ever built. And again, there is no mortar, there's no clay. That as soon as the...
Because actually, I'm starting it here, and I'll post the video. You can watch the entire lecture. But the problem is if you don't watch this stuff, you're not picking up on what he's saying. So the ancients, Mayans, Incans, everybody, ancient Germanic tribes, everybody all over this planet, they migrated. When they migrated, because they didn't have food and water, they had to find new lands, they'd always come upon these structures. They didn't know what the hell they were, and they would live there, obviously, because there was safety around these structures that the kings built, or ancient civilizations they knew nothing about. So what he's explaining right here is that, I mean, that's an old structure right there, but hang on, right here. But he's explaining right here, so when I first looked at this, I just looked at it and said, oh, okay, it's a Mayan building, got it, you know, and left it at that. But researchers like him, what they've taught me and what they teach other people is that when you look at the stonework, you can actually see the different ages, the different people who built it. And so above it, my finger can't really get the high at the top. You kind of see how sloppy the stonework is. And then you look at the stonework here, and it's precise. And it's interesting, he says, and this is why, not Brien, but there's another one. I want to say it's Graham Hancock. He calls us a species with amnesia. Why? Because the stones at the bottom, you can't get hairs in between. They're locked in, they're precise. They were made with a technology we don't have today. And then the people who came along later, which is higher up, they just put these, look like somebody got some Tinker Toys and blocks and just kind of cut them and laid them, right? On top of a foundation that's significantly more advanced, of people who have been building structures for a long time or had some technology we're just not aware of. And you see this all over the world. That's what he was talking about there. And that's why looking back in the past, they call us a species with amnesia, because we forgot what our ancestors knew. And this is part of why archaeology is so important, because it's looking back into our past, and they want to always try to convince you that we came from booty scratches. You know what I'm saying when I say that? grass skirt wearing booty scratches, right? We had nothing else to do, beat each other over the head with clubs and grab women and drag them home and scratch their butts and just acted like a fool. We were cavemen, and that's so far from the truth. When you look at all of the evidence and research, more of this aligns up with people, like I said, like the whistleblowers, and explaining that we've forgotten our past. So anyway, I want to kind of explain that. So when you look at the structures, always look at the foundation. Even in Greece, right? The Greeks did it as well. They ran into these ancient megaliths that were made with technologies we know nothing about. So all right, let me go forward, because I want to get to what he was talking about here.
Again, with the picture that we're being told. And this is my favorite, because this is a drill hole in a stone. It's about this long, but both ends of the stone are broken, so we have no idea how far that hole went. And if you look at the scarring marks horizontally, going this way, you can see, and engineers have backed this up, modern engineers, that it must have been some kind of boring tool that was a very high vibration. It wasn't a drill that moved like this. It was a very high vibrational cutter. The teeth would have had to have been something like diamond in order to cut through, because this is harder than granite. But again, it's an artifact which archaeologists basically don't want to discuss.
And they don't want to discuss it, obviously. Well, you know, I should here. So if you know what he's talking about, you know, using modern intelligence of the time. Uh-oh, I'm showing ahead. No, I want to show that.
Again,
I want to show you this. So using modern knowledge to understand what happened in the past. So what he's talking about here are the tool marks. So tool workers today and tool makers look at that and they realize you can see where the cut marks are, and you can see that it wasn't made by a drill, but it was made by some sort of vibration or resonance tool. But not only that, how quickly it cut, right? Like if you ever used a drill before, you can go back and look at what you drilled and see that it took so many cycles to actually cut through something. And because how you can see the tool that actually went around, that it actually cut very, very quickly, which indicates it probably wasn't anything like a diamond or a sharper, more dense object, but some sort of resonance. And so this is why your military industrial complex doesn't want you looking at these things. This is why documents like Nikola Tesla's or his notes were banned altogether, or they're still redacted on the FBI's website, because he started to figure a lot of these things out as well. So now he's going to go into this box, which is what I wanted to.
Because this is a drill hole in a stone. It's about this long, but again, it's an artifact which archaeologists basically don't want to discuss.
And it's not that they don't want to discuss it. Keep stopping. It's not that they don't want to discuss it. It's just how things are set up. It's just money, right? They want to make money doing the thing that they love. And if the thing that they love requires that they only tell you certain levels of information, then that's all they can do, right? So it's just like any other industry. Archaeology isn't bad. Archaeology is everything. But it's corrupt and it's broken by money, which enslaves us. In order to eat, they have to go along. They have to get grants. It's like another example would be Neil deGrasse Tyson. Love the brother to death. Love the brother to death. And I agree with him 92.8% of the time. Only because when on GMO, he loses his damn mind. He doesn't, I don't get it. Like the brother just nails it on all these other these points. But he loses his mind in that. And the only thing that even makes sense that he would call a genetically modified organism a hybrid, and that it's natural technologies, either because he's lying or he doesn't know. And the brother's too intelligent not to know. He knows. It's just if his grant money comes in through big pharma, if his grant money comes in through the big chemical companies, the Monsantos, the Bayers now, then he can't speak about those things. He has to say what he's told to say, which is what a Trump has to do, which is what an Obama has to do, which is what they all have to do. This is just how the world works. This is what I'm talking about when I say that money makes the world go round, and we have a corrupt model, and that's what controls everything. That's why all of this is related. So check out this box.
And then this is a stone tub or container of some kind, which is in the very center of this building. And the flowers that are planted around it are not just there to look good. You are literally not allowed to step inside and photograph what this is, because somebody doesn't want this artifact studied. But what's intriguing is that about 10 years ago, a team was allowed to do excavations at number 8, which is this building, the Coricancha, and up on top at number 1, which is Sacsayhuaman. And they found a tunnel system cut through solid bedrock, connecting one with the other. The Inca could not have done that. So what I'm telling you is I believe that Cusco was an ancient city that was abandoned for some reason, and after thousands of years, the Inca went to Cusco, rebuilt their city, but now because of their construction and then Spanish construction and modern construction, it's difficult to see the oldest parts. But as you train your eyes, and this is what our tours do, you automatically see the different periods of building. The oldest is always the biggest stone and always the finest stone, and that's counter to what we're taught about society.
All right, let me stop there. So what he's kind of explained, let me show you, I have another picture of the box actually. Which is, and the interesting thing to me, and this is an old Brien Foerster video, but if you go out and look for pictures of this box, most of them are copyrighted. It took me a minute to find a non-Alamy copyrighted picture that I actually can show on here, because I can only show non-copyrighted pictures. Here it is right here. So here's the box right here. This is actually the best picture. There are pictures out there, you just can't show them in videos. There are other pictures of that other box, but this is the best, clearest one I can find. And so what he suspects, and I don't know if what he's saying is true, it's just that you actually can't walk up to the box, and the most significant things are hidden in plain sight. The most significant things are the things that you're not allowed to actually see or talk about or do anything with. So you can't get close enough to take a picture down inside. And his theory is that it connects to other buildings, right? Tunnels drilled in solid bedrock. You know, Incas didn't have the ability to do that, right? And if you live there and that's a part of your culture, your pride, then you don't want people questioning that your ancestors didn't do that, that your ancestors just plagiarized, that they just got there and they just put some rough stones on top of other structures that were significantly more advanced. You want that pride factor, right? The same thing is in Egypt, right? Why do you have Zahi Hawass lying bed as the day is long with that other bastard, which I think he's from the CIA, where they just sit there and they lie constantly about ancient Egypt, how they're not drilling anything. They hear them drilling at night. Well, they want to keep up that pride, right? The human beings were divided up into all these different groups and races and religions and nations. And that's how you control them, is you give them pride in something that has no value. It's what George Carlin talked about, which is why I always go back to it in Division, is why anybody would be proud of their nation, a race or ethnicity is the dumbest thing on the planet. It makes absolutely no sense. You didn't accomplish it. You didn't do anything for it. You were literally born into luck, and you begin to play this monopoly game where bankers are printing all the money, they control all of it, and you'll never win. None of us will ever win. We're all being played. But you always want to look where they don't want you to look. And obviously, if they don't want people taking pictures down inside that box, it's not a box. His theory might be right, that it is a well, and it does connect. And if there is a tool that allows you to drill through bedrock going back almost 10,000 years, we got a problem, Houston. We got a problem with modern history. We have a problem with, we can't do that today. And if you can turn that drill into a death ray, if you can use that drill, that technology, that resonance to kill people, then it actually makes sense to keep everybody divided from all these nations while they research it together. That's why part of my theory goes in, I don't think Russia and America are ever opposed, whatever owns them, puts them against each other. They're never in opposition. In space and war, they're always good friends. China too. But we're always given these enemies in peace times to keep us fighting other people. But the minute I did spin, I'm gonna look at comments before I get into the news. I think there were some important things to say, right? So now I guess Trump tweeted that, but the CIA tweeted through Trump's account. I gotta figure out a better way to say this. The oligarchical puppet of the time. It's not an anti-Trump thing. We have to stop using these words because they trigger people into silliness. Oh gosh, Harsh is killing me. I want to give y'all a Harsh quote from yesterday. He was hilarious. What did that brother? That brother is the king of one-liners. He said, people who can't control their emotions want to control the model of the planet. Oh yeah, I'd be dying yesterday. He did a great video. But the leaders are always oligarchical puppets. They always are. And so now we're recognizing the Golan Heights as a part of Israel. And my perspective, again, I have no issue with Israel. I certainly don't have any issue with Jews. I used to go to church with them, damn it. We're good friends, love them, brothers and sisters. The real Jews, not the faking ones, not the Westboro Baptist Church Zionist ones that are pretending to be Jewish so they can go murder and kill people and break every 10 commandment, and they get these dumb Christians to go along with them who don't read their Bibles. So, but he said that in a tweet. And so I'm trying to figure out, did he actually tweet that because he's one of these Christians that actually never reads their Bible? Likes to beat people over the head with it, you know, the Bible thumpers, but they don't ever read their Bible? Or is it because the Golan Heights is very high in oil? Billions of dollars, that oil god, the great golden calf of oil, Golan Heights. And that's what I think it is. I think Venezuela went down, and so they just need to go to the next land and rob some oil or get some oil and give it to a buddy of theirs, which is the same thing. Right? That's why I don't believe in any of this. I'm a frequency, baby. I'm a frequency. But not only that, I'm a frequency making tighter buns, man. I was doing some steps yesterday. I was doing some steps in construction. I won't go into that. Woo. I'm just saying, you don't need a gym membership if you're actually active in life. You actually don't. Everything is an exercise. So that was kind of sort of in the news. I guess the other thing I'll mention, and we'll do comments, and y'all can take this where y'all want to take it. But Guaido's chief of staff was arrested by Maduro because he had a grenade and I think some assault rifles or something they found at his house. I don't understand that. That smells fishy. It smells fishy. It actually smells like something America would do. It smells something like the American oligarchs would do, where they plant evidence and arrest somebody. Now, I don't know if Maduro is dumb as the day is long. And of course, he's not a good leader, because to me, human beings don't need leaders. And he is corrupt, but he's nowhere near as corrupt as the oligarchs in America. The colonized that want to destroy the country and murder a bunch of people doing it. But why would he do such a thing? It makes no sense. He was winning. He was winning hearts and minds. And everyone, even the people in this country and this military said, yeah, you know what? You're not the greatest cat on the planet, but we did elect you democratically and you will stay in place. But why would he do that? Then I was sitting here thinking, is bin Laden really dead? Is bin Laden really dead, or is he like in CIA retirement on some island? Did they really kill these people, or they just give them a choice? You can retire on this island, but you got to play your script. You got to play into the script to get a revolt started so we can destroy the country and give the country to oil companies and pharmaceutical companies and make it an oligarchy like most of Latin America, like we've done. So we need you to do something stupid. And arresting Guaido would be just too dumb. And so now he's tempting the oligarchs in America. Why would you do that? You know these people are psychopathic. This is what I'm saying. When I'm like, when I have the patience, when I have the patience to actually watch this nonsense, I just see a lot of puppetry. It just really feels like a movie. It really feels like an episode of The Human Race, where he's been given an option and he has to do things to kind of stir the pot to keep things going in that direction. So I don't know. But anyway, what y'all want to talk about? It's Friday, man. We can talk about anything y'all want to talk about. I'm done. Those are the things I was looking at. Oh, dang gummit. I was building a pallet wall. I should take some pictures and show you what was I building. Breaking down pallets in seconds for the Green Olympics, because I don't watch your colonizer Olympics. I don't watch the Olympics at all. I haven't watched the Olympics since I was like 15. But once I studied like the Roman Empire and understood the purpose of the Colosseums, I actually started watching a lot of sports, because I realized what that is. Keep me as a dumb monkey entertained in the fake world. But we need a Green Olympics. Breaking down pallets, building cob houses, building hemp houses, growing seed. That's what I want. That's an Olympics I'll watch. But I was building a pallet wall. Tellinger's the man. Yes, he is, Sean. In fact, we can watch some Michael Tellinger if you want. I was watching a good lecture yesterday. Man is off the hook. He's the one who does the Ubuntu communities. That's giving you a solution, right? And that's why the brother Sean, they get at it. What are we gonna do? We ain't got no solutions. What we gonna do? You're just complaining. What we gonna do? Number one, I'm not complaining because I don't care. I really don't care. Collectively, we're dumb as a bag of bricks wet as a human race. We probably should already be extinct. So I really don't care. I'm not whining. I'm just saying that's murder. You shouldn't do that. That's rape. You shouldn't know. It's not okay because you're a Republican. It's not okay because you're America. It's not okay because you're a Democrat. That's bad. Don't do that. That's war. That's all I say. And I point to people who are a hell of a lot smarter than I am, like Michael Tellinger, in terms of what money is and what the economics have done to the world. He did a lot of studies into the giants. The giants. Does that scare you? The giants, right? Y'all know what the Book of Gigantes is? That's one of the books they took out of the Bible, so the modern kings to become the Christian God. They took the Book of Gigantes out of the Bible. He talks about that a lot, but he builds Ubuntu communities. And these are the communities where I think you work, 3 hours a week, and they share all the resources, and after that you go play. We can look at that. We can definitely look at Michael Tellinger. Don't tempt me, Brother Sean. We'll go down that avenue. I love that. That brother is on it. And the Ubuntu communities work. How do you know they're working? Because the towns around them become Ubuntu communities. And how do we know it's even working better than what even he says? It's never on the news. It's not on CNN, it's not on Fox. Moneyless societies, they're using money to beat out money. And they're living money-free life. They work 3 hours a week, whatever it is, and they go do whatever they want. They go on vacations. And who's gonna live next to that? Who's gonna live next to them? You living in West Tupelo and on East Tupelo, Mississippi, they work 3 hours a week and you're going to work, you're working 60 hours a week? What? 2 jobs? They're living over there, work 3 hours a week, and they're coming back to going to Cozumel, and they're going to Europe, and they're living their life and with their kids and the wife and making all that good love stuff and all that, and you working, your wife is stressed and you're stressed, y'all fighting, arguing, ain't got enough money, the car's breaking down, the house ain't working right. You know, nobody want to live next to an Ubuntu community, so they convert them right next door. So look up the Ubuntu communities. That's why I always plug them. I always plug the solution. The solutions are there. They're not in Washington. The only thing in Washington are always oligarchs. They're always people who are acting. They're acting because you believe the act. Oh, just somebody sent me something. Somebody sent me. I have to say this real quick too, because I got the comments. We'll look at the comments. Gosh, you know, there was like a casting call. Apparently, before she got hired or found or something, she was working as a waitress or something, and they did a casting call. And they actually called it a casting call, and they got the guy in the interview saying that she applied because she wanted to be an actor, and all of a sudden now she's a U.S. Congresswoman. But she stopped acting. She ain't acting no more. She don't want to be an actor. She don't want to be. Politicians actually they telling the truth. They telling they're not acting. They're not acting for an oligarchy. I thought that was funny. All right. Music is a divine gift. Yes, Dee Dee. And music, I think Lucifer, not Lucifer, what was his name? The angel Gabriel was an angel, and maybe that's why music has such an effect on us, because you can feel it throughout your body. But it was amazing when I was in that chamber. I wish you could video it and the sound do what it does when you hear it, but it just doesn't. It was amazing, and I was in there, and I was with a singer, and I was like, sing something. Like, I was just talking, I was moved. I can't even sing. I was like, did I try to sing something? I think I did Yankee Doodle Dandy. I think I tried to do something like that. But even that was sexy. I was like, oh my gosh. My chest was reverberating, but music is everything. Yes, absolutely, Dee Dee. Here he is, ancient civilizations move large stone blocks with the use of resonance. Yes, Ivana. And the funky thing I found on that was the tuning forks. Did you hear about the tuning forks? They found tuning forks apparently all over Egypt. And they have pictures in stone and hieroglyphics showing them holding these tuning forks. And apparently they're in museums and dark rooms in the back that they really don't show people, that they found these tuning forks and they didn't know what they used them for. So could they perhaps use frequency and sound to move blocks? Well, not only are scientists doing that now, kids are doing that in school on YouTube. You can watch the videos. Little small objects, they move with sound. So of course sound moves anything. You can do that with sand. So of course you can do that, but we don't know how they did. And that's why I think all this secrecy comes in, because they're constantly trying to figure out those who came before us, the technologies they had, and they just don't want to share it with us, right? They don't want to share it with us at all. You know, and so, I mean, on that, like in terms of the whole free energy technology and how it can relate to sound and resonance and frequency, is think about a compass. I was thinking about a compass this morning. Tell me if this is crazy or not. Is a compass free energy? Get a compass, and you can take that bastard and move it this way. Why does that bastard go back this way? What moved it? If that's not a case of free energy, I don't know what the hell that is. That thing's like, nope, I don't want to be down here. I want to be free. I'm going to use some energy that you don't know nothing about because the CIA lied to you, and the patents are here, 5,000 patents hidden by the patent office for energy patents. And I forget all that. I'm not going to cover it up. I'm not going to redact it. I'm going to take some energy and move back this way. Why do compasses do that? Somebody tell me. Tell me that ain't free. Tell me that's not a form of free energy. Free energy is everywhere, everywhere. There were also healing areas that healed using sound resonance. Debbie, get on it, girl. Get on it. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I was thinking. I get excited a little bit. I was on top of the tower. I was in the room, and I was like, oh, it was doing all of that. And I was like, well, if I'm frequency, and I can feel this all through my body, Could someone have the right tuning fork to heal things and bring back resonance and frequency to heal problems and cure cancer, or allow the immune system to work how it's supposed to cure cancer? I'm on all of that, Debbie. I'm with you. Like, all of that makes perfectly good sense. But of course, the pharmaceutical industry can't sell you drugs. They can't sell you the drugs if that actually becomes common knowledge. I don't watch the political parties or mainstream news at all. It's all thought pollution to me. It is, Kevin, which is why I can only tolerate but a minute of it. I love my Democrat and Republican friends, but I can only tolerate a minute of them. They were arguing about something. It was on RT, and I just, oh Lord. I watched the third video. I said, I can't do this. I can't with y'all today. I can't. I don't want to watch this show today. It's like a sitcom. After a while, you're like, I can't do this. Because I know y'all act. You're either acting or you don't really realize that you're trapped in a fantasy world playing Monopoly and the bankers are printing all the money. You're a slave. Stop being a slave. The board wins the game. It wins the game every time, Kia. Why? Because the board game makers made the game. They made the game so they will win. They got there a little earlier than you. The early bird gets the worm. Milton Bradley and Parker Brothers, they got there, they wrote the Monopoly rules. Made sure, okay, let's start on the rules. What's the first rule? What's the rule in economic monetary policy? Everybody loses but us. That's the first rule. Everybody has to work but us. Everybody has to pay rent but us. Everybody has to go to jail but us. Everybody has to roll the dice but us. And people go along with it. It's amazing. It is amazing. I don't understand it. Would the stone not deteriorate over time with, I think you said age? Somebody was asking that question. Well, it depends on the stone. There are different stones that are more dense than others. More dense, not in matter, but frequency and resonance. Some stones are denser than the others, and that density changes with the right resonance, with the right frequency. But outside of that, rain has a frequency, and it resonates down onto the rocks and whittles it over time. But those are a good thing. Let me show you something. Goodness, I gotta think. What was the name of it? Over time, things weather, and this is one of the ways that Robert Schoch figured out that the Sphinx was over 10,000 years old, that they still don't, like mainstream archaeologists still don't accept, and they're Egyptologists, let's just say it that way, and they're not even geologists. He was a geologist by the weathering of the stone, and that it was water that weathered the basin of the Sphinx. There is a, goodness, what's her name? I did a video a long time ago. You can look at the weathering stone. You can look at, I know this is what I'll do. There are megaliths, megalithic structures, and that's why I like to talk about megaliths when I get a chance to, is the megaliths show that our planet, or not our planet, our civilization, the human civilization, is a hell of a lot older than what we think. Not only because you look at some of the stones in like Baalbek, let me see if I can show you this here. Not just because of some of the massive, massive stones like the Baalbek stones, the pregnant lady, where's she at? That's a genderist comment, isn't it? I think, because it's so big, that's just wrong, that's wrong. I don't know why, but anyway. Let me see if I can bring this up. So we know from these ancient, massive, massive bricks that nobody can move today, without massive equipment, that I can't really show it. No, maybe I can do it this way. I got another thing I can show you. We know that they had technology we're not aware of. So it's just not the tools and it's just not the weathering that show the actual age, but it's also the size. In pretty much every way, we have no idea what these people knew who came before us. And then they went underground. Nope, that one didn't help. That just didn't help at all, did it? All right. Well, we don't have to go there. But no, there is a Sphinx that is in somewhere in the middle, not in Egypt, somewhere else. It looks like a weathered Sphinx, a really, really old one. I'll take you back to this one. Right there. What is she called? I forgot her name. Somebody might post her name. It was a really old, weathered structure, but this is how we know civilization's a lot older than we think. So I'm just gonna go down megaliths real quick. So yeah, Easter Island, we know there things are a lot older because they found structures that the Eastern Islanders built, because they think they came from Polynesia, where they took the old real Easter Island statues and use them to build structures. So you can see the back of one in the wall. And it's interesting because then on Easter Island, they're still doing what everybody else is doing, right? You walk and you find a building and you say, oh, who built that? The gods must have built it. You start to worship and you start to make your own, which is why Britain stole the first moai. They stole one of the early ones that's made out of, I think it's basalt. The rest are made out of volcanic ash, like rocks that are easy to carve. And so once again, even on Easter Island, same exact thing. Then the megalithic structures all throughout Russia, right? You look at the aging on those stones and you know that we've been here a lot longer. I'm gonna show her face. What is her name? It's like Lady or something. Somebody will post it, we can go to it. Underseas, there are roads made of stone so big and massive that they could not replicate today. And that, yes, Debbie is on it. Debbie's on it. And that's when they're looking for Atlantis, right? They found the ancient pathways and then the cities and then the pyramid next to Cuba. Yanaguni off the coast of Japan. Places that haven't been above water for over 80,000 years, they say. And so obviously, Admiral Byrd can't be too off from the truth. And and how did he know any of this? Because none of this was known at the time he was alive. You know, and so I think you take all this evidence all around the world and you link it all together. Pompous is just, POTUS. I still don't know what the hell a POTUS is. POTUS is just an administrator. Like all the lobbyists and other lackeys that can now do insider training for their good little lackeys. And I agree, Akia, and that's really the real deal. It's hard for people to admit, though, because when you admit that, you're breaking down people's reality. Like, some folks do, some folks don't. And you don't want to break down their realities because it's hard, it shatters. Like, when I talk about money, that's when people tune out. I watch my view count. Anytime I say money is just slavery, it's just a representation of human labor, it's foul in every form. It's the current system is what we got right now, but we can change it overnight anytime we choose to. They leave, they go away because they've been raising their children to worship money. They've been raising their kids to depend on money, to love money, to make more money than the poor kids down the street, to stand on their neck, get a better degree and treat them like they're a better. So when they go out on the weekend and they run into somebody who's serving them, a servant in service, how the hell do we even call that? How is that still even a thing? Coming from slavery, we're calling other people servants and then treat them like it. These fries are cold. These fries are burnt. Teaching their kids to be these little monsters. And so when you start to break up their realities, they don't like that. Somebody's telling me what POTUS is, I appreciate it. Like I said, I ran from I don't care nothing about the politics. To me, it's all a joke. It's a sad, sick joke because they're actually killing people, but it's all a joke. Genie oil is already in the Golan Heights. Look them up. Big U.S. ties. Oh, really? Okay, thank you, Linda. I have to look that up. I don't know what genie oil is. Bin Laden is an agent called Tim Osman. Right, Bin Laden is, they still got the CIA paychecks. You can go look up his paycheck stubs. He was CIA, still is CIA, if he's still alive. Neil deGrasse Tyson is a lying establishment. Yeah, sure. Well, he is, Patricia, because he wants money too. He's like us. To a degree, we all are. To a degree, we all got jobs. We make money. We got bank accounts. So we all support the establishment in our own little ways. You know, but we just have to we got to get past it. We got to get past it. But he's right on a lot. I think he's a very intelligent man. It's just that he's kind of like a gatekeeper. Ah, that's the right word. Right word. Gatekeeper. Somebody gave me that word. Because who's the big gatekeeper? They call, there's a really intelligent, smart brother. Because they use these people to get you, Noam Chomsky. They use these people and they give you this intellectual credit. Who said it the best way? Corbett said it best. He said they use very highly intelligent people. You give them intellectual credit, and then they'll take you to a place you'll believe everything they say. Noam Chomsky, right? And then when they say something that's foul, you go along with it. And so Noam, where he got off with me, which I agree with Corbin, he says a lot of very powerful, important things. Until you talk about the Federal Reserve. You come to the Federal Reserve, which is where he has to be taking some money somehow from somebody, know somebody, something. He sells out totally. Well, we need the Federal Reserve, you know. And Neil deGrasse Tyson, same thing. He'll nail astrophysics. He'll nail. He's not too far in the religion thing. I'm not with him completely. I think, and he's changing. He was completely anti-God, and now he's like, it's something, I don't know what it is, quantum physics, whatever. So I think he's evolving in that direction. But once he gets to GMO chemicals and whatever, he has to totally sell out, and that's where his money comes from. That's why I don't take no money doing this. Once I started to do that, man, then you're trying to control my voice and control what I say. No, it's like we either go with 100% truth. 98% truth is not true. Because that 2% can destroy a planet. That 1% elite that prints the money, or the 0.01% that controls all the money, they can do a hell of a lot of damage. They're destroying this entire planet. Doing such a bad job, the people in the earth don't want to come say hi to us, nor do the aliens. They're willing to let us all die because that 0.01% is that dirty and foul, and we worship them. They're our golden calf. Let me see. AOC's brother submitted her name to the casting call. She didn't even do that. Right, Patricia, she didn't. That's what was in the story. She didn't even. Did you send me that? I don't know who sent me that. That she didn't even want to be. She was a waitress. She wanted to be an actor. And maybe her brother figured out, damn it, you kind of good at this. You're pretty and everything. You're smart. Let's try this out. It's in her name. Next thing you know, she's a congresswoman. And it's not anything against her. It's not anything against Trump, or like I said, or any of them. It's just a system that has to change. Our lives are expendable. Just how we treat cattle. Evil people have no problem rounding us up one day. They have no problem with it, Ty. They'll kill all of us. They'll take your vote and they'll kill you. They don't care. They don't care at all. They have the power to do it because there are places all over the planet that, like you're not supposed to look in the hole. Don't look in the hole. You can look anywhere you want. You can walk around the courtyard, take pictures, have a wedding, whatever you want. Don't pass those flowers. Go to the flowers. They're pretty. And see, most people, they don't even question it or think about it. That's why the flowers are pretty. Like, oh, why they plant pretty flowers right there? People take a picture. Oh, it's so pretty. It's like the Coliseum. It's like the Olympics. It's like drinking on Thursday and Friday. Oh, take a picture, the pretty picture in the pretty well. And it's like, that's not a well, that's a tunnel. It's a tunnel to center Earth. Right now, I don't know if it's the center Earth, but it's a massive tunnel demonstrating drill technology that we don't have today. And it's highly important. And I think, but that's my theory on the Nazis. I think that they grabbed all of this technology when they went across Europe and they started putting the pieces together because they invaded Italy and, well, not Italy, France and Britain, and they bombed Britain, and they went across the continent, all them damn countries in there. I hope you ain't one of them countries like, he ain't even mentioned my country. They went across all the countries and they grabbed all of the research, all the evidence, the artifacts and everything, and they started to put it together like, whoa, somebody got some drilling technology somewhere that we need to find. We might be able to make a bomb with this. We might be able to kill a whole bunch of people. And so he took a lot of resources out of war and military and sent them around the world trying to find what's in these holes. So I think he figured it out, and that's what he did. We never went into watching dudes slap each other in the butt, fighting for a damn ball and getting paid millions. I don't watch any of their gladiator, egotistical sports, just not my style. It's not Daniel, it's not mine either. Y'all want to go play some basketball? Let's do this. You want to play some football? Let's go do it. You want me to watch grown men do it and like, nah, I'm not into it. Because of its foundation is in getting people to look the other way and not look in the holes, and that's why I got a problem with it. Plus, I'm not interested in competition much anymore. I think more and more, like I said, Daniel, me in team sports, I used to play team sports. I'm kind of distant from that. I know they're good team sports and you got good coaches, and anytime I say anything about that, I get in trouble. People start yelling at me, but I don't know if it's a good idea to keep raising kids to compete against each other. I think that's a model for the human farm. You want to raise kids to compete for each other. You want to raise kids in collectivism because they're already that way by default. By default, in the daycares, they want to work together and build blocks. I think we should keep them that way. Don't break them. I think when they're born, they get that working together, we can build a bigger block building. So the bully comes and knock it down, but together, working together. So I'm against team sports, and I don't like, I don't push that on my kids. I don't want kids that financially and intellectually use their gifts to rob other people and be okay with it. I don't believe in survival of the luckiest. I think it's wrong. I think it's dead wrong. Like, here's a thing I put it. Why do you deserve to have a sexy large house? Pretty husband, pretty wife, nice car, good life, take vacations, enjoy the finer things in life. Don't have to cook a meal. You can eat all the GMO pesticide food at the finest restaurants. Somebody born with autism can't. Somebody born with one leg necessarily can't. Somebody born with some mental challenge. Why are you better? Why do you deserve better? Why is your lifestyle significantly better than somebody who what they call mentally challenged? They're human beings. They were born to. Why shouldn't they have the same exact abilities, lifestyle, happiness, and joy that you experience? Why are you better because you weren't born with those elements? To me, that's a form of oppression. It's a form of abuse, especially in the time, not when we were cavemen, but now. Now that we have the technology to make sure they all have the Stephen Hawking abilities. And I think that's, to me, that's the most sentient thing we can do. I feel guilty. I feel guilty every day. Every day. There isn't one paraplegic person that shouldn't have everything Stephen Hawking did. Why? Because we can make that happen. If we had enough love in our hearts. We made it happen for him because he did it because he was very, very smart and he learned how to beat the 2 feet people at the game. But it wasn't fair. He made his own fair, and that's not fair. You know, and I think we can be better people than that. And so I think raising our kids to have more than kids who are born with disadvantages, and poverty is another one. You're born in a trailer park or you're born in a barrio or a ghetto. No, I don't think kids born in wealthy or middle class communities, suburban communities, should be allowed to compete against. Why? Because you don't have good school systems. You got school books that have been handed down 8 generations that aren't even accurate anymore. They still talk about bloodletting and putting leeches on people. No, I don't think any of that is a good idea. Those are bad ideas. Yes, frequency is the key. It absolutely is the key, Nikki. Waste of time indeed. It's a waste of time, Christine. The only reason, like I said, I look at the news is we still got to wake people up. And the only way that you know, Morpheus, is that his name, Morpheus? Yeah, Morpheus. And Neo can pull people out of the Matrix is you have to know what's happening in the Matrix. You got to know what they believe in. You got to know what they're scared of. You got to know what they're proud of. And you have to be able to talk to them on their level. So you need to know what's going on in that world. So it's not a total waste of time. It's just hard to really deal with the matters. The matters and what matters to them. I can only take in so much of that. The matter people. I like to use binaural beats. They work well. Okay, works with your body, Nikki. Go with it. Solomon commanded demons to throw huge stones up to the workers. All of that. It's crazy how they tell you what made these places back then, but most disregarded it because programming like movies and TV. Well, right. Well, they own all of that time. They own all of it. So anytime you see a picture of somebody excavating a giant or some sort of beast, we're like, oh, that's fantasy. Hey, none of that real. It's like, and it's not just modern times. Go back to the 1800s when the sailors came back from the ships sailing around the world, colonizing, privateering. They came back and said, there's monsters out there. And people were like, no, they're not. Ain't no monsters out there. You're crazy. Ain't no giant, massive squid attacking boats. And now guess what? We got the giant squid. And a few people now have said that they've actually attacked boats. So, you know, there's leviathans and krakens. You know, one of the two creepy things. One was the bloop. Listen for, do a search on YouTube for the bloop. It was, we got all these listening devices in all the oceans because of World War II, and we heard this sound that a creature made. Geologists said it couldn't have been rocks, and we don't know what made this sound. It could have been one of them creatures, one of them Solomon creatures. You know, we don't know what the hell is down there. And the other one was the shark. There was a great white shark that they tagged. I think it was 16 foot, I believe. And she was a female. She was swimming. They were just trying to see where she was going. All of a sudden, the sensor just dove to a depth. Like the temperature changed from the standard body of a shark, and I think it got warmer. Well, no, because the temperature was the temperature of the sea. And then all of a sudden, the sensor was swallowed because it went to the body temperature of a creature. Not 98.6, but 90 something. And then it dove to a depth that great white sharks can't swim almost immediately, and then got released. And so what they're saying is that kind of indicates that something bigger ate the great white shark and the sensor, dove down deep back to where it lives, the Leviathan, the Kraken, and then eventually the sensor bubbled to. That's another one out there. I'll post a link of that. But there's so much we just don't know. We don't know. We just don't know. We need to stop pretending like we do know. All of this stuff is kept secret from us. But we got to start looking. We got to act like we're frequency. Stop acting like we're matter. Stop focusing on what matters to the matters. Sacred geometry created by frequency, moving heavy objects to perhaps. I think so. I think so, Brenda. Absolutely. These are things and people, they get exposed to, and they don't really even know what you're talking about. You got to spend time down a rabbit hole before some of it starts to make some sense. But if we want to build a better future, we have to know everything. There can't be any secrets. We got to know everything so we can make good decisions. The Abyss. Oh, that was a great movie. Somebody just posted that. There are moments in life when I know without a shadow of a doubt I have understood a real truth. Sometimes in the written word, sometimes by footprint. I call that our ancient memories. Ooh, who said that? Dang it, it just went up. Yeah, that happens to me too. And it's weird and it's creepy. But it's a thing. Cellular memory is a thing. But also energy is a thing too. Like, I think that if you can imprint memory in a crystal, which is what we're doing with the latest hard drives, and it's what we've always been doing, then and what's in those crystals, the same minerals and some of the crystalline formations are in wood, are in furniture. And so we can imprint memory in those things. And sometimes I think maybe you just happen to go into a house and you're picking up on a recording and you're just sensitive to that frequency, or you're actually taking it in. And so I think sometimes this is what, the power in some of the crystals that people have when they say it's a haunted house, or the mirror's haunted, or the furniture's haunted. I think that could be what it is, that maybe when we die violent deaths, we're being killed, murdered, raped, or choked, or whatever, that we just kind of explode. Our frequency just goes blah, and that resonance lands in different parts of the house. And it's not that the kid is in the window or chasing you, or red rum, but that you're just picking up on the frequencies that are embedded in the matter that's all around. Could be. I don't know. There's just so much we don't know, because all wood is made of minerals. All mineral crystals are made of minerals. So, who knows? Isn't Dick Cheney part of the genie oil? I don't know anything about genie oil, Deborah. I'm going to let somebody else answer that. Joe Rogan is a shill gatekeeper. But I like Joe Rogan. I do. I don't know what he is. I know that some of his shows I really enjoy. Some of his shows go to the depths, and he questions the establishment quite well. Some of his shows but I think to a degree, let me be honest. Do I think Joe Rogan is a gatekeeper or shill? I don't. I'll be honest with you. I don't think that. I think that he is really trying at the ends of his intellectual ability. Like, he pushes it and he tries. But when he gets beat down by somebody that is a little more versed in the topic, he capitulates to that. So I think what Joe is he's more, I think he's honest. Personally, I do. I think he doesn't question in areas he hasn't done research, and he goes along with the professional at that time. And so when you get like the medical professionals or the doctors or whoever on there, he kind of capitulates to it. So I think he's not a shill. I think the gatekeeping you might see might have to do with the level of his research. But he still has phenomenal podcasts, and I think he's still the #1 podcaster in the world. He had the Paul Stamens one. If you haven't watched that, you need to watch that. That'll blow your mind. He had the one with Anthony West before he died. That was phenomenal. He had another one with Graham Hancock and and the brother that trails along him. So he has a lot of good ones. He does. He absolutely does. So I'm not prepared to say that yet. It seems like he's trying. And in a lot of places, I think he kind of nails it. And he has great informational cast. They don't want to be suicided, so they take the money. Nobody wants to be suicided, Mary, and most people will take the money. It's no question. And that's why I'm saying we got to try to act more like we're frequency and less like we're matter. Because when we can act like we're frequency, we can do the things that matter. We can act how we matter. We can be the Mannings and the Assanges and the Snowdens. The only reason those brothers are in hiding is because the rest of us are cowards. That's what it comes down to. And so I'm trying to coward exit. I want to be a coward less. I want to be a coward and team up with people less. And I want to be my own man. I want to be as much as a man as Manning. Woman. I want to be as much of a man as Assange. I'm not. I don't think I am yet. I mean, I'm not scared to die, nothing like that. But they've stepped out and made a difference in the world. I haven't made any kind of difference they have. And we got to give them credit for what they're doing. You know, and the only reason they're in hiding is because we're weak. Ron Paul is pretty much the only one I've always agreed with, and the only one not a sellout. Well, I agree, Courtney, that Ron Paul is not a sellout. He is not. That brother is not a coward. He is not, he is stand up against the darkest Democrat and Republican he can find. He just sit there yelling and screaming at them. I miss him. He yelling and screaming at Congress like, yo, morons. He would just get it. And they were like, get him out of here. Bipartisan. But I won't say I agree with him all the time. I don't agree. I do disagree with him when it comes to the monetary system. I do. I don't think money should exist. That's the only place I disagree with Dr. Paul. But I will never say anything bad about Dr. Paul because he's real. And he says what's real to him. Real people I don't have an issue with. If you're real and you disagree with me 100% of the time, I love you to death. You're the person I need to spend time with. You know, I don't want to spend time with people that always just agree with me. But real people, not people that were born into something and they think it's true because they were born into it. They were born into this family or this skin or this country or this political party or this religion. People who are the bornisms, the born bigotry folks, the folks that are selective, the tribal folks, I can't really get with that. I can't because that's not real. That's fake. You are not a tribe. You are not a group. You're a you. You're a self. You need to self-determine and stop letting groups determine for you. So yeah, I agree. Ron Paul, he definitely seems like he's real. He's willing to tell a mother. You know, and I think he might be the only one. I'll post Ron all day. When I have time and he posts something, I can tolerate him all. I can listen to him all because he's saying what he really believes. And I'll throw Rogan in that group. I think Rogan says what he really believes too, and I don't always agree with him. Definitely don't always agree with him. But I think he says what's real. I don't think the money drives what he says. I dreamed of Middle Earth, lived in a hole in the side of a hill, just remembered an awesome dream. Well, I think Middle Earth is real, Daniel. I just don't think it is what Hollywood says it is, and I don't think it's what the Hollow Earthers say it is. I think the Earth is just a cavernous space. And when bad times come, we always go down. And after a generation, the people who went down, they stay down. And that becomes their reality, and they can't figure out why we're dumb enough to live out here where everybody dies every 13,000 years when Planet X or an asteroid or floods come around. Children naturally only want to make others happy. Still, when they're beneath 5, after already manipulated. Yeah, initially they do. And there was a study on their eyes, Christine, where they studied the parents' eyes. And I think it was an indicator in terms of they're linking it more to an autistic, that kids that don't make eye contact, they end up having more autistic behaviors than kids who don't. That they look at their parents' eyes and their brother and sister's eyes, and that tells them what's safe and what's not based on what you're doing with your eyes and your facial expressions. And they learn fear and aggression. This is how they learn to fear water and not be scared. And parents that are more confident tend to raise children that are more confident. But they're always trying to please. They want to make that happy face. That's why when they spit and they do that, and we laugh, we're like, ah! They keep doing it. They just spit bubbles going everywhere, drool and milk and just flying on everybody. Everybody's laughing. They keep doing it because they want to make you happy. They want to please you. But the same way you pick their nose and you get mad, and they, okay, well, I'm not supposed to pick my nose. They stop picking their nose, do the thing. But then that also is the reason why y'all put that nasty music on and y'all think it's funny when they dance like you. And they up there gyrating, shaking. You're like, ooh, that's funny, that's funny. Like this, and they looking at your face like, ooh, mommy like it when I do this. I'ma shake my booty, shake. And y'all think it's funny, you put it on the internet, and she keeps doing it. Because you're giving her approval. Well, yeah, she just wants to make you happy. Get them kids in the grocery store cussing like the day is long, like a sailor. Farm, Phil, farm, F you, mommy. And everybody, that's so funny. You know, what do you think that kid's gonna grow up to be? Oh, this is how the world works. I'm supposed to please everybody. This makes everybody happy. That's what I'm gonna be. You know, but that's why, Christine, like I said, I don't blame poor kids. I don't blame kids for nothing, let alone poor kids. We show them hate the moment they're born. And they become exactly what we show them they're supposed to become. And I don't hate them for it. You want to attack a hate group, you need to go find yourself some Democrats, Republicans, governments, democracies, capitalists, socialists. You want to find some hate groups? That's where all the hate groups are. That's where all the real hate groups are. It's where they hate in mass. Look at RFK Jr.'s exposure of Bill Gates and his cases against Big Pharma. Son of Bobby Kennedy completely ignored by the Democratic Party. Absolutely, Patricia, because they're taking that Big Pharma money. Are you in two places? You trying to confuse me? You're in two places. You're on YouTube and Facebook. Yeah, well, they're taking that big money. And RFK is also going after the vaccines and Big Pharma, right? So, yeah, so he's got to go down. And that reminds me of yesterday. What did I learn yesterday? Day before yesterday? There's a theory that the reason that Michael Jackson is unpopular, the reason that all of these cases came out, people saying he was abusing children, is because he turned against the prison system. He did that song, I forgot the name of that song. Everybody was saying, I didn't know. I just posted, I was just rebel rousing. What did I post? I was getting annoyed. I think I posted, because everybody's mad at Michael Jackson. I ain't mad at Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson became exactly what we made him. I bought his records. He became exactly what I made him. Crazy Joe beat the hell out of him. He was born in a money enslaving society, and he became exactly what he made. Didn't Crazy Joe gave him some sort of a medical treatment too, where he didn't produce testosterone anymore? So exactly what he was supposed to be, and he became that thing, whatever that thing is, but he turned on the prison system. So it meant all the Democrats and Republicans had to turn on him. Why? Because they're slavers, and you don't want to accept it because you got your party affiliation going on. But the real deal is he turned against the establishment, he fell out of favor, and so now, yeah, you're an instant pedophile. And I'm just not interested in that. You know, Oprah turned on him, and that's what somebody said, well, I think we gotta trust it because Oprah turned on Michael Jackson, and what is, I think she said that abused people usually turn out to be abusers, and Michael Jackson was abused. And I said, yeah, somebody else was abused too. Wasn't Oprah abused? Yeah. Watch that logic. Watch that logic. Come back and get you. Watch that logic. I'm not really concerned with that. Oprah's a Democrat. I don't hate the sister. Love the sister to death. But the reality is, if you affiliate with killers, weapons traffickers, warmongers, and those who create sex trafficking, then I'm not really interested in what you say about Michael Jackson. I have zero interest at all what Oprah thinks about Michael Jackson. I have zero interest what anybody alive actually thinks about Michael Jackson, because he's dead. The only people I want to hear about from Michael Jackson is dead people. Short of that, I listened to Jackson 5 all day yesterday. I was listening to Jackson 5. I was dancing. Oh, man. Shoot. I was cutting wood. I didn't cut my finger, though. I didn't get no splinters yesterday. I did good. Competitive sports can be fun and educational. We have ruined by making athletes millionaires. Yes, Lori. Nobody should be a millionaire. Either everybody should be a millionaire or nobody should be a millionaire. Or money shouldn't exist. Period. I think whatever you do is good, and you should do it for the collective good of the human race, or you shouldn't do it at all. Money is why you do things, and you shouldn't be doing that thing. That's stupid. Money is slavery, and you're stupid for doing it for money. That's what I think. But yeah, but it's like same reason, Lori, how they broke Michael Jackson, they break these young sports players. And we screw them up, and then we get mad at them when they're screwing people in anus. Who was that? He plays for the Lakers. Lakers? Got caught screwing that little girl in the booty cheeks. Yeah, he's a bad man. Is he? Really? The way we worship, do you really think that she wasn't worshiping him and they found what, like, endless different types of sperm or something all up in it? Come on, man, stop it. Stop. But, I guess he fell out of favor, or he never was in favor. I don't know how that works. I forgot his name. One of them sports players. But you turn on the establishment, they turn on you. Prince. People say Prince died under mysterious circumstances. That he went go looking in this hole. Prince went looking in holes he wasn't supposed to. And they kind of know how Hollywood works. It just works exactly how Washington, D.C. does. You only get in if you're a sellout. And while you're in, you have to sell out or you die. Elites love making themselves look like the good guys, just like the most popular superheroes. They're all rich people like Batman and Iron Man. Yeah, they do, Ty, because we worship that. That'll become our next golden calf. And they drive the narrative and we fall right in. So everybody wants to be rich. In order to get an Iron Man suit, I gotta be rich. I gotta be a billionaire. And so you got millions of kids worshiping the wealthy the way their adult parents do. And that's why we're in the problem we are. Everybody wants to get to the top of the pyramid, but not everybody's allowed to get to the top, so a lot of people die. The whole thing's stupid. Loch Ness and Sasquatch. Hey, Mary, I think Loch Ness is real. I think Sasquatch is real. Now, is it alive today? I don't think so. I don't know. I think that if the earth is cavernous and the earth is full of oceans and there's a lot of life deep in the earth we know nothing about, is it possible that there are caves under Loch Ness where this thing swims out every now and then, it comes in from the ocean? Sure, absolutely. People took pictures of it in the past and people talk about it for what, hundreds of years? Makes sense. They said that it used to be underwater and that it could have been one that got, a plesiosaur that got trapped. Could be, I don't know. But I don't know, what's ABC News say about it, Mary? Somebody asked CNN, ABC News, and Fox News what they think. Somebody asked the U.S. government, Democrats, Republicans, what they think about Loch Ness. And I believe the exact opposite. How about that? Sasquatch, I believe. That sounds like that is an old creature from the past that probably lives underground too. That just hides and comes up every now and then. What y'all doing? And, it flying a ship or something. This is like a theory that he flies a UFO or something like that. And he lands and y'all catch him in the woods. And I think he's like intelligent. He's probably having his drinking his tea with his pinkies high. Yeah. Well, let's see what the Americans are up to. And they had like all these Sasquatch having a conversation that drinking their tea like, oh. Well, they're working on free energy and stuff, and you come around and here comes some humans. They start throwing rocks at you, acting wild and crazy, go running in the woods like, I seen Bigfoot. No, I don't think that. I suspect. No, I don't know. What do I know? I know that the Gigantopithecus was a real creature and it looked like Bigfoot. And so the idea that they all died out 10,000 years ago. And I'm like, no, maybe when they restarted life the first time, they used Gigantopithecus instead of some chimp monkeys, 98%. Maybe they did, I don't know. But you know what? I believe, Mary, here's my, again, you know me. I believe people over government all the time. I believe whistleblowers over every security agency all the time. Every time. Why? Because the people don't really have anything to gain from lying to me. Poor people don't. They lose careers, their life, their job, and people poke fun and say, "You're crazy, you believe in Sasquatch." They lose a lot. They only got things to lose. Most of them, not all of them, some of them lie. The government lies all the time. It's like, what's the other thing that's happening? The FBI that came out. I saw this was the third news article I saw before I got frustrated. I couldn't watch anymore. The FBI is going to investigate Boeing. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. I think the FBI is going to, like, you can't make this comedy out. Like, I was like, wait, this must be a different FBI that hid the Tesla documents for free energy that's causing climate change or whatever all over the world, that they use to make the geoengineering weapons to cause climate change. You know, I'm just like, is this a different FBI that murdered Martin Luther King? This ain't the same FBI, is it? This the same FBI. They're gonna get justice and citizens, you'll be safe. That's still hiding what happened at 9/11. This is the same FBI. Still hiding what happened to JFK, murdered the president. And they're gonna make us say, they're gonna make your airplane say? It's like, all right, this must be low level FBI. This is not like upper level. This is like the low, that's us, the dummies in the FBI that just don't have no clue what's going on. Boeing runs the American government. They are not investigating Boeing and the Department of Justice for a damn thing. All right, that's one rogue FBI X-file Mulder having investigator who just isn't reading his email and know who actually runs America and how all of this works. Oh, there was something interesting on that too, on climate change. I posted it yesterday. Did y'all see that video? The one where they showed in 1974, all of the superpowers got together and formed an agreement that they won't use weather weapons to kill other citizens outside of their nation. And it's still on their website. They didn't even delete it. It's a government website. They didn't delete it. The American government, the Russians, the China, all of them got together in 1974. That was when I was born. And I'm just sitting here like, you mean to tell me the weather weapons that don't exist, the ones that, the weather weapons that don't exist, y'all got together and signed documents and agreed at the UN that y'all would know. Well, they agreed by themselves, I think. And they signed a document. They got all the nations, the date they signed there. Then the UN, then I think in 78. Then the 78, they got all the rest of the UN nations together. And everybody else agreed on these weapons that don't actually exist. These HARP ships. Where's that damn HARP ship at right now? Anywhere something bad is happening, that's where that HARP ship is right now. But they got the other nations to agree. So now all the nations agree that none of them will use weather weapons against each other. And these are weapons that don't exist, that Tesla told us in the 1940s how to do. Sometimes it gets tiring. Y'all ever get tired? Sometimes it's entertaining, but you get tired. It's just like, you know, it's like climate change is real and we need to stop at the fossil fuels. I'm like, yeah, well, the climate's changing and it always changes, but somebody been playing with weather weapons and you probably should, you know, check who was tampering with it if it ain't working right. Right? As a mechanic, all right, here's an example. You take your car to the shop. And your car is running fine, just going for a checkup. You get your car back in the car, you get in the car, and then before you used to turn on, it's like, but now you turn on your weather, you turn on your engine. Who are you blaming? Are you blaming evolution? Are you gonna blame, I don't know, somebody, a mechanic at a shop that never touched your car? Or you gonna blame the people who touched it last? Well, common sense, I know who I blame. The American government has weather weapons in Russia and China and everybody, and right now, don't make any damn sense what's happening around the planet. They're making up names, solar vortex, Arctic vortex, Julio, somebody always coming out of Latin America to kill people. And that's some racist stuff too, by the way. Y'all need to stop naming all them damn hurricanes after Latin people. Stop it. They can't make up enough names for the weather. But the weather acting a damn fool all over the planet. And they all signed the agreement. It's just, but most people don't know that. I didn't know that till yesterday. And I was just like, oh Lord, they've been doing this for 44 damn years. No, 44 years. There were enough weather weapons, prolific enough in most private areas of nations, governments, that they actually had to have an agreement that they wouldn't use them against each other. That's crazy. But you know the craziest part? I didn't even say yet. The craziest part, I didn't even say yet. The craziest part is the agreement made it okay to use weather weapons against your own nation. Oh Lord, this is why I don't take none of this seriously. I don't take that seriously. Why would you do that? Can you imagine Russia and China and America, everybody sit down, we're gonna represent our citizens because we love them to death and let's get this weather weapon thing signed. After we won't use the weapons, it's probably America, because in America, they little bad bastards, boy. They always bad. It's probably America. Raise his hand. They're all about to sign. Hang on, I got a question. Wait. Before I sign, do we really not want to use weather weapons against our people? I don't know. See, in America, we got this thing called the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and gosh darn it, sometimes they just get in the way of our oligarchy. Sometimes we can't do the things we need to. Sometimes we gotta make a hurricane to get the monkeys back in line, get them fighting. Anytime you got a disaster, we look like the good guys and we can create something called FEMA to go save them. I don't know. Maybe we need an addendum. I see America always got these bad ideas. I'm in America. I live in America, but I'm not an American. I'm sorry. I'm a captive, y'all. I was born with y'all, and I love y'all to death. But y'all strapped shackles of money on me from birth. And I did pretty good with it. I have nothing to complain about. I have no complaints at all. I lived a good life. But I'm not lying to myself. I know I'm a slave, and I know my government's always up to something dirty because they're not my government. They're an oligarchy. They work for big corporations. So it's like, okay, yeah, Russia, like, yeah, that's a good idea. German, that's a great idea. France, vive la, yeah, not the France people. You know, and they all signed the agreement that, yeah, we can use weather weapons against our own people. All right, there we go. That's pretty good. I posted a link. Y'all didn't see. I posted it yesterday. I'm pretty sure I posted it yesterday. It was a good, I don't even know who this sister is who went and found this on the government website. You could just go down and look at all the countries and the dates they signed it. We will not use the weather weapons against the weather weapons that don't exist against our own people. We won't do it. That's a good thing. It doesn't exist. You don't have to use them against your own people. Just it goes to show you they can change distances whenever, and the majority will not question it. Well, they can change anything then, because the majority, there's something about us, Ty. We love being enslaved. I have no idea. Somebody did a lecture on we're a prison planet. There's something about us that most of us are prone to want to be beat with a cattle prod called money and economic systems, if not chains and whips, and people just want to keep going with it. Authentic folks are highly valuable. They are, Rebecca, and they're the only people I value like significantly. When people would tell you what they really believe, not what you want to hear. That makes me smarter. I love Ron Paul. I do it as well, Ivana. I like the pause and possibly Scalise on the right, RFK Jr. and Jesse Ventura on the left. Yeah, and that's a good thing, Patricia, because you got that left-right brain. You ain't got that right brain. you got that. Some people got that right brain. Some people got that left brain. You know, it's kind of like feet. You know, you got two left feet. You're not gonna do too well. You got two right feet. Not gonna do too well neither. That's not how the world. The world got all kind of dips and holes and uneven pavement. So you need to have a left foot and a right foot. You need to have a left brain and a right brain. There's some things you need to be progressive in, there's some things you need to be liberal in, and they all should be based on real facts, data, common sense, philosophy, and history. You know, so my inner progressive is always fighting my inner conservative. My inner conservative is always fighting my inner liberal. My inner liberal, I don't have no inner neocons, and I don't have no inner neoliberals. Nothing in me is pro-war ever, and nothing in me will ever support war ever. You know, the world is bumpy. Walking on a daily basis, you can't have a right brain. You can't have a left brain. You got to be able to walk, and you'll never be able to walk if you're beholden to any of these bigoted sides. I don't agree. I don't always agree with anyone. Neither do I, Lori. I think I agree with everybody to a degree. Somewhere I disagree. Never 100% including Gerard, and that's why I appreciate you, Lori. Do not agree with me because you're scared to say something. Don't agree with. I don't get mad at nobody for saying nothing. Y'all can say anything you want to say. I'm not offensible. I'm not anything. I think one of the brothers posted the other day, said, yeah, I posted this. I'm sorry, I think I might have offended you. I don't have it. I'm frequency, brother. You can't offend frequency. If you can offend frequency, you must have that ancient Mayan weapon or something, because I'm not offendable. Like, I'm an adult. I don't think that word offense should go beyond the age of 8. Like, after that, like, why do you care what anybody thinks? Why do you care what anybody says? You need to focus on yourself. I'm focused on me. I'm focused on making me better. So I don't have time to be offended. So people say what you want to say, and like that's how we learn. That's how we move forward. Is you take somebody else's thought and you perfect it, or you correct it, or you share your thought and your thought changes. That's how we move forward, and not be pod people. I'm suspicious now. They find new things. Did you? Oh, dang it! This went up. Missed it. Oh, brother Travis, welcome to the house. You nail it every time. Real people are democracy. Censorship keeps people from talking. Puts people in echo chambers. We need all ideas to get the best. To get the best ideas and the truth. Yes, brother Travis. Amen. Absolutely. And I don't nail it every time. I don't nail it every time, brother Travis. I don't. Listen, I trip, fall. I'm the clumsiest one. Not just intellectually, but I'm just honest with myself. I'm just honest. I used to vote, brother. I used to do vote teams. We call people up on Friday. Are you gonna vote? You need to get out and vote. You know, I was lost. And I still trip and fall today, but I got friends that keep me honest, and I try to keep them honest, and we're all getting better. But absolutely, you know, it's not a democracy if you don't hear from everybody. If they don't want you to talk to other about if you're on the left, they don't want you talking to the right. You're on the right, they don't want you talking to the left. It's obvious they're not interested in democracy. They're interested in force and aggression and fascism. They're interested in getting more people and voting you out of having a say in what happens in your world or your country. That's not a democracy. That is not a democracy. There's nothing democratic about that. And it's not even that I even think voting works. It's just that if you don't want to hear from people, you know, and they use that word offense, Travis, like they use that. They somehow get adults. They get people over the age of 8 and they teach them it's okay to be offended. It's okay to have all these emotions and feelings and words. Like I get back to Brother Harsh's comment. That's why I love. He started his video. I was laughing the whole time. I could barely even watch it. He started out his video. He said, "I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of people who can't even control their emotions and they want to control the model of the world." You know, 7 billion people in the world. If you can't control your own damn emotions, you getting offended at. Why in the world? You know. But somehow they tapped into people's emotions and they made them emotional. But I did appreciate that yesterday, finding out about Michael Jackson and his song about the prison industry. And then they say right after that, that's when they attacked him. So that makes sense. That makes perfectly good sense. He turned on the establishment and the establishment turned on him. And Oprah is a part of that. So I expect the Democrats and Republicans and everybody to eviscerate Michael Jackson, so they can keep their wars that end up in empowering pedophiles and sex trafficking going. You always give somebody a worse enemy to hate, and they usually they're like a little baby thing, a little baby in it, like a little baby abuser. And it's always the big abuser, the gang members that want to get you scared of this little thing. And I don't believe that no more. Man in the Mirror was one of a few good songs. Didn't he write that amongst others? I don't know, Debbie. That really pushes my memory. I barely remember the prison song. I think Michael Jackson could still be alive, just like some of the other celebs. I don't doubt that. I think that's possible. That's very possible. Prince definitely sold out. Okay, who did he sell out to? Did he sell out the establishment or he sold us out? I think money needs to be there. There needs to be balance. Things need doing, and people don't do them with benefit. Brother Troy, let me show you something. I want to show you. We're going to jump on. I don't know if Sean is still there. He mentioned Michael Tellinger. Michael Tellinger is, I was watching one of his lectures. He was talking about money. And he was talking about the monetary system, how money enslaves us, and the Ubuntu communities. I'm going to show you that real quick. The Ubuntu communities are awesome because I never believed. I pretty much agree with you until I really started looking at like the Zeitgeist movement and the Venus Project and start looking at how automation can solve these problems. Like, I don't think money's bad. I'm taking it back. Yeah, money's bad. I do believe money's bad, Troy. I'm sorry. I'm trying to agree. Y'all see, I try as hard as I can. Money is evil. Money is wrong. But it's the concept, right? It's not the coin in the paper. It's the concept. It's the concept that if you have, somebody else has to have not. Like, I disagree with that concept. I mean, money can exist above and beyond letting people die. I get that, and I agree with you. But if we don't have to have money, what's its purpose? If money offends us at all times, why is it still around? If money is like the cause and its lack is the cause of starvation and death and violence, you know, but most importantly, they want us to keep money, right? Most importantly, the banks, the elites, they're the ones who love money. They want it to stay. And I think that might be the #1 case for letting it go, right? You know, if that's what they want, then obviously that thing is one of their tools. I want to show you this. All right, take me a minute to find it. Michael Tellinger. So he likes to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. And I don't know. Here we go. I think this is right or wrong. I want to show you.
It is the socio-economic political system that is controlled and driven by money. But it's not about the money or how much money you have. It's about the control of money. It's those who control the supply of money, not how much money you have. So money is the tool by which we are enslaved until we come to terms with what money is, where it comes from, how it was created. We will remain the subjects of those who control the creation and the supply of money. Our system is broken. You know this by now. I don't have to remind you. It cannot be fixed, and it certainly cannot be fixed by using the same tools that created the problem. Otherwise, we just go around like lab rats on that bloody wheel, right? Money was maliciously introduced as a tool of enslavement. You need to really internalize this. Money is not there to help us. It was introduced as a tool of enslavement, as a wholly, complete, finished idea and philosophy and concept, introduced into humanity at a very specific point in time. And that specific point in time was when the kingdom was lowered to earth from heaven. And we'll read this very clearly in the Sumerian text on the Sumerian kings lists. That's where we first discover the first royal bloodlines. We see the appearance of the first kings, and the royal bloodlines suddenly appear, wholly formed, wholly controlling everything, still controlling it today. And they were given weapons of mass destruction and fierce weapons with which to smite the people if the people didn't want to listen to them. Otherwise, nobody would have bloody listened to them. Of course they wouldn't. Hey, you know, I have a great idea. I wake up in this morning in my village, call my village people together, say, listen, guys, I've got a great idea. As of today, I'm going to be the king. And all the land now belongs to me. Right? And you all going to work for me. I'm the king. And but in return, I'm going to let you live on the land, and we have this amazing relationship where I'm the king and you work for me and we all work together. No, I don't.
I'm sorry, but this is the example I get into with like the cockroaches and the fleas. Like they got flea rights and they got cockroach freedom and they got the slugs have slug liberty. But the human beings are the only things born as slaves. And somebody has this great idea in how to get the majority of the people on the planet to work with them, and they actually don't do anything just because they say they're the king, because they say they're the government.
I don't think so. So where did the first royal bloodlines come from? Very simple. When you start studying the Sumerian text, you see they were forced upon humanity with fierce weapons with which they smited the people if they didn't listen. And you know when you read the ancient text how much smiting actually went down. There's a lot of smiting in ancient times. And it's these first kings that suddenly owned all the land.
And it's still smiting today. Think about what happens if you don't pay your taxes. You get smited. You get taken back to instant slavery, just like Monopoly. You don't pay, you go to prison. We are slaves. And the thing that empowers that is money. So I kind of want to, because he gets into a lot of great ancient archaeology, but I want him to talk about the Ubuntu communities, because this is huge. Right, like this is how you can change the world.
Right, finally. I think, are we on time? 8 minutes over. I'm going to show you a little One Small Town video, and hopefully this will put you into a very positive frame of mind to finish off tonight.
And I posted a link so you can watch the whole lecture.
Hello, I'm Michael Tellinger, and I'm the founder of the Ubuntu Liberation Movement. Welcome to the launch of our new strategy and plan of action, which we call One Small Town Can Change the World. So, what is our plan? First, we find a small town of around 5,000 people who want to participate in their own makeover, their own salvation, their own rescue mission. Then we find consensus between the people, the mayor, and the council. We identify the special skills and talents of the people. We identify the industrial and environmental potential of the town. Then we develop a razor-sharp business plan for a variety of community projects to match these skills and individual potential. These projects are actually meticulously well-planned businesses, but there is one huge difference between these and other businesses.
What is the Tower of Babel? Myth or real place? Did we have one language?
Thank you.
These belong to all the people of the town.
I want to be clear on something very quickly before the haters jump in. This is not a theory. He's not theorizing. He's not fantasizing. They've done this in various towns on every continent, and it works, and it spreads to the outside towns. This is the hole surrounded by flowers they don't want you to look in. This is why the news doesn't talk about Ubuntu communities, because it actually works.
Together with the investors that made it possible. Everyone in our town who participates in the transformation will contribute 3 hours per week towards one of these new projects. This creates a powerful free labor force that no other corporation can compete with.
Creating a free, powerful labor force that nobody else competes with. And I'm glad he clarified. 3 hours a week. What would your life be like if you worked for 3 hours a week? What would your kids be like if you worked 3 hours a week and you could actually spend time with these little creatures that you made such sweet love to make? What would your marriage be like if you worked 3 hours a week? Would you be divorced if you worked 3 hours a week? Would you be happy? Would you need pharmaceutical drugs? Would you be able to focus on most important things like we're frequency and not the matters of the matter people?
Then comes a really critical part of our plan. We analyze how much our town needs to consume of everything we produce. And then we produce at least 3 times as much as we need. We can do this with ease because our cooperative labor force. Everything we produce is distributed freely to everyone who participates. And the other 2/3 are sold on the open market to our neighboring towns and cities, or even exported if need be. But herein lies the twist. We sell whatever we produce cheaper than any other supplier. How is this possible? Because of our free labor force and the ingredients that we supply ourselves. And so, in a strange twist of fate, money will become the tool that destroys capitalism. It becomes clear that contributionism devours capitalism wherever it may be. This will lead to a substantial income stream from all our projects very quickly. From food to technology, healthcare to music, tourism to engineering, and so much more that would not be possible in a capitalist model. Why? Because it would simply not be financially viable. Set your imagination free and imagine how much wealth our little town will create from just 50 new projects. But what do we do with all this money? We keep it simple, as we always should. 1/3 goes to the investors or the farmers or the factory owners that turn their businesses into a community project. 1/3 goes to upgrading and maintaining and constantly creating new projects based on the needs and skills of the people. And the last 1/3 is distributed equally to everyone who participates in the projects. This provides for an elegant and simple transition phase. No one has to leave their job because everyone has 3 hours a week. And very soon, the people of our town will be receiving more money from community projects than their jobs, while getting most of the things we need to live for free. As this abundance begins to grow and our town becomes wealthy beyond comprehension, new projects will start up every week, giving expression to the creative talents of our people. One by one, the people who work for the mines and other dangerous industries will leave their jobs. because they earn more money and benefits from contributing only 3 hours per week. And without any resistance, opposition, or conflict, the nasty corporations will close because nobody will work there anymore. And the existing system will simply shut down and fade from our memory as we create a new system and a new social structure. At this point, we realize that we don't need money at all. And yet we have more money now than we've ever had before. Everyone will know that money does nothing and people do everything. And so, in a strange twist of fate, we use the tools that enslave us to free us from that slavery and build an unshakable foundation in which the tools of enslavement have no more effect. There has never been a simpler way to unite the people and create abundance and prosperity for everyone. And there has never been a more lucrative investment opportunity to conscious millionaires to participate in creating a true utopian future for everyone. So, which will be the first small town to start the domino effect? Just one small town that'll change the world. Why not yours?
All right. How does that sound? I don't know. Does that sound being free, liberty, real liberal activity, living your own life, contributing 3 hours a week? The only thing I disagree with in this is that there are a couple things that actually weren't addressed. One is that, no, it's not new. This isn't new. We're not transforming and going and say new environment. This is not new. These communities have been, they were here before the colonizers, okay? This is how people used to live all over this planet. They worked together and did a little bit of labor, grew some little bit of food, did a little bit of hunting for the community, and the rest of the time, they played Monopoly for play, not for real. The rest of the time, they raised their kids. They loved their husbands and loved their wives. They went foraging to find new flowers for their beautiful wives, so they could have more kids, and they played with the kids. This is going back to what we used to. And the other thing that wasn't addressed, I want to make sure it gets addressed, is that the 1/3 went back to the investors, 1/3 went back to the workers, and 1/3 went back to upgrading. That was a key piece that the video obviously couldn't spend enough time to talk about. Because when you're talking, this is where automation comes in, right? This is where my industry comes in. See, I wouldn't be working 3 hours because I can't work 3 hours. I can't program for 3 hours. I'm a robotics engineer. I love the creativity in solving problems. There's something wrong with me, okay? I like to fix problems. Tatsu did a video yesterday, we were talking about it. There's something wrong with programmers, engineers. We actually like to do these things. We're not accountants and bankers because we're forced and beat over the head. When we quit and leave our industries, we still code, we still create, we still architect because we like to solve problems. So you're not gonna lock me into 3 hours a week. I can't do enough on 3 hours a week. Y'all do 3 hours a week, then y'all go play, go do something. Don't raise psychopathic kids. Go love your wife so you don't get divorced. Take her to dinner, get her some flowers or something. I'm gonna keep working. But these things are real, and so it didn't address the automation side of it. That 3 hours is on old, outdated technology. When you begin to automate these things, the creation of cars, the building of houses, the automation of all these things, you get rid of all the useless jobs. Think about the financial sector. You know how many jobs are tied up in the financial sector? Endless. I think it's something like almost 30%. Useless jobs doing nothing. All those jobs completely go away, which is part of why it drops down to 3 hours a week. But taking that 3 hours and dropping that down to 3 minutes is using AI, learning robots, and automation to solve more problems. Your only job will go in the office for 3 minutes. I gotta go to work. You don't have to go to work. There's no going to work at that point. You're literally right from your cell phone. You're pulling up. Oh, damn, what the hell's going on in the automation factory? Okay, the car, the house, just out the bushes, and ain't been flying. Okay, you. Okay, honey, I'm done. Yep, let's go. Where we going? Italy. Let's go, baby. I'm done for the week. That's living. That's called living for a living, being a human being. Being free as a cockroach. Actually, no, a cockroach is still freer though, because the cockroach does what he wants to do all the time. You now will have 99.999% of your time to do the things you need to do, the things that make you want to get up in the morning. Your children don't have to be born into slavery. And so that's my issue with money. And this attacks everything wrong with money. It attacks the reason money was created. It was created to enslave people. So this is giving back and being a collective, not a survival of the fittest model, but working as a group to solve problems. And it avoids the whole socialist thing too, because y'all know me, I'm not a socialism, not a capitalism. I am not a psychopathic systemism, okay? If the psychopaths keep cheering that system, it's a bad system. There's no central point of control. There's no central, we rule everything and we own everything. All of this pushes towards leading less and less and less and less human labor, needing less and less and less contribution and purchases from the outside communities that haven't joined it yet, the outside towns. Call them the outsiders. Which is a good TV show. I think they canceled that. The outsiders, the matterers, the people who think they're matter and what they do matters in life. All right. He who sets the rate. He who sets the rate owns everything, right? He who prints the money, he who creates the monetary system, they control everything and they do no work. And they keep telling what they tell you. Who said that? This is Teresa, and what they tell you? Work hard. I tell you, work hard and you'll get it too. Work hard. And it's like, no, you can't work hard at Monopoly. You joined the game late. You don't own any properties. You don't got any money. You can work all you want to work. It's not about working. They don't work. They just literally print the money and keep you enslaved. Yes, Brother Kevin, it's transformative, which is why it's not on television. Which is why you won't see Ubuntu communities on Fox TV, CNN, and MSNBC, not off any local channel. They might put it on local Timbuktu, Zimbazabu down in Louisiana somewhere, but don't have, any connection to the outside world, but they won't put it on mainstream because they need you to work. Your leaders, the popular leaders, they need you to stay a happy slave. That's why they don't talk about things like the Ubuntu communities and the Venus Project and utilizing technology for anything other than murdering people. They need to keep you disobeying those 10 commandments. They need to keep you disobeying and violating your neighbor's Constitution and Bill of Rights. They need to keep you a happy slave, and I don't blame them. Don't blame them one bit. You go for it. You're happy with it. You're happy to enslave your children to what you're enslaved to. So they're locked up into Xanax and alcoholism and all of that too. Then that's what should happen. But you know what the shame I think of it sometimes is? The kids who end up with addictions that they wouldn't have, that their parents didn't have, because their parents could tolerate the suppression. Their parents could tolerate these monetary systems and being a slave. How do you know your children can? How do you know your grandkids can? Because a lot of them are going to end up being alcoholics and drug abusers. A lot of them are going to end up dead. A lot of them ain't even going to make it because they can't deal with this type of oppression. It's time to let this bad idea of governing die. It's a bad idea. It's a bad experiment. It's time to just call it what it is. The system is broken. Period. It's not kind of broken. It's not broken-ish. The system was never designed for us. This system was designed for the people who actually print the money. It was designed for the people that keep us enslaved. It's broken. It can't be fixed. It has to go. This is why I respect Native American culture so much, right, Ty? Because they figured it out. If we trust our ancestors, and it's all of them. It's not just Native Americans. Native Americans, it's Native Germans, it's Native Britons, it's Native Africans, Native Congolans, Native Australians. It's Native everybody. Everybody should leave each other alone. They just work together in their own community, make things and live their lives, and every now and then go trade with somebody else. That's all it is. It's the same thing. It's before we adopted the colonizer mentality of stealing what other people have, working together and sharing. When we gave up on the idea that Golan Heights belonging to the Golans. The Golans people. I don't know the Height people, the Golan Heights. Are they tall? I don't know. But I know this, they're high over some oil. That's why we're going to go destroy them or give it to Israel so they can keep destroying and oppressing the land because they don't want them to be free. Somebody need to ask Golan, do you want to be a part of Israel? Ask Golan, y'all want to be a part of Palestine? Let them just self-determine. You know, everything is about enslavement. Still smiting, still droning, absolutely smiting, because smiting and droning is the way. If you don't, be speaking of drone, if you don't actually, if you don't obey, you get smited. That reminds me, is, you know, that's the modern drones right there. But what did the drones used to look like? The drones used to look like this right here. This was the old drone, right? That's what the drone used to look like. If you don't act right, those who print the money behind the colonies will show up, and they'll show you how it's done. You go look in that hole and you realize that they're onto something greater, that becomes you. All right, let me do some comments. I'm gonna get out of here. That was a long one. I wish I had heirloom seeds. Everything around me tastes and feels different compared to flour that used to be around. Well, you can get heirloom seeds, Ty. Order them, get them online, plant them, save your seeds, and replant. And then they'll acclimate after a few generations to the climate you're growing them in, or they all die. That's how nature works. You can have your own. Love how you do your show. Thank you, Brother Dunn. I don't know if it's a show. I think it's more of a discussion. People say that, like, can I come be on your show? I don't really, it's not, it's not a show. And somebody said, oh, you did a great presentation yesterday. It's like, and not really not really presenting anything. I got questions in my mind and I'm thinking, and I try to do things to get people smarter than me to think about it and do something with that thought and make it intelligent. That's all that is. So it's not really a show. Yes, Chris, like the Venus Project. Good morning. Good to see you up in the morning. Let me see. It is hidden indeed. Wow. Okay, I don't know what's hidden, Christine. I'm up in the comments. Theories are proven, so yes, it is. You mean hypothesis. Yes, hypothesis. Ty, the ever scientist. I mostly agree with you about money, but I've not seen another way. Okay, brother, I just showed you another way. What you think about that? That's what I want to know. There needs to be credits towards balance for trade, towards very different kind of slavery, like localization of production. Yeah, well, Travis, what do you think about that one? Tell me about that, because I think that gets addressed, you know, in terms of like, because value is in what it's in the item. Like, you know how these kids are doing this thing? What is this thing where they like take a button and they trade a button for like a pen, and they trade the pen for the little Matchbox car, for a bigger toy, and they trade that up for a plant, and they plant that and they get the tomatoes, and they trade the tomatoes, and they get a skateboard, and they eventually end up with a house. Like how that happens, right? It's because of the value of things are set by these bankers, right? They're set by these oligarchs and these killers, these psychopaths. When we don't allow them to set the value for a thing, then the value of the thing is based in what you value, right? Like if I don't have any chickens, I'm gonna die. I might have 4 or 5 lawnmowers and 3 cars, but without chickens, I'm gonna die. You got chickens, a chicken might be worth a car. I got cars that I gotta maintain. I got 4 of them. What am I gonna do with the car? Right? I gotta try to keep it running. If I'm not actually running it and driving it, it's gonna go bad, and eventually it's gonna be a waste. So I'd rather get a hen from you. Maybe I already got a rooster and I can make something that can feed my family for the next 1,000 years, eating eggs. So your chicken, your hen would be worth my car to me, or my lawnmower. And so you just trade. And so the value of the thing becomes, you know, the contract between 2 people. You know what I mean? So I think it's a great, and is it perfect? No, it's not. It's not perfect. I don't even want to think that I'm saying Ubuntu is perfect, or Venus, or any of these movements are perfect. They're just the next step. We need to be next steppers. We need to stop half-stepping. Well, we're not even half-stepping, are we? We're like, ain't no half-stepping. I'm a big daddy cake. No, there's no stepping. There's no, we're not stepping. We're literally locked in enslavement. We're like, let's stay here and let's fight each other and not change anything. And that's where we are. So to me, I don't think utopia exists. I think it's just the next step. We need to step towards giving the kids something better than what we got today. And it might be a progressive thing, like a slowly thing that had money slowly whittles away. I just like the idea that it goes away. Because I honestly, Travis, I believe in people. I believe money can go away tomorrow. The monetary system can collapse tomorrow. If I work at the power plant, I'm still going to work. If I work at the water plant, I'm still going to work. Why? Because I like water. My family needs water. My neighbors and friends need water. My nieces and nephews, they need water. I work at the cable company. I'm going to work. Why? Because we need the internet to communicate. If I work for the financial sector, if I work for the banks, if I work for the IRS, if I work for anything having any non-essential system, if I work for the military, I'm not going to work. If I work for the police, I'm going to work. Why am I going to work? Because I joined the police not to beat people up. I joined the police to keep people safe. I like it when my wife is safe. I like it when my kids, niece and that, and I'll go to work. So the funny thing is, if money disappears tomorrow, the essential jobs will all still get done. All the doctors that go to doctor to heal will go to doctor. All the doctors that just go to doctor to drive a Benz will not. And you don't want them. You want them to stay at home. You want all the chemists pretending to be doctors, you want them to stay at home. All the teachers, the ones that actually like kids, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna stop with the banking sector to pay their mortgage. Now they can pay their mortgage being a teacher because they love kids and they love to teach. They go teach. Like, I think it's an instant fix. So I'm an instanter. I'm a collapser. I'm a total collapser. Let the monetary system collapse because the essential jobs will continue to get done and everybody will be taken care of. If I'm a trucker and I truck vegetables, I'm going to truck. Why? Because I like to eat vegetables. And I know if I don't bring any to my town, now I might not take them from town A to town B for some big truck company that pays me a salary. But damn it, I'll take my truck. I'll take that truck and I'll go to your town, get the tomatoes and bring them back to my town because I like the tomatoes and that's my 3-hour job. So I think these things can happen really quickly. Let me see. All right, let's get down. Let me get out of here. I'm going to move to such a community. Where are they? Yeah, Christine, they have a website. What is his website? You can go see where they are, where their website. They are in the United States. They are in every continent. And I absolutely too as well, Christine. I just got to get I got last kid out of school. When I get the last one out of school, we are out of here. If I can find one local, I'll go join it right now. Now. I don't need this nonsense anymore. I need all this nonsense to go away. Yes, Rebecca, we are occupational orphans. We got to stop. My jobs would never get done. It takes 40 to 50 hours to do some maintenance. Well, you know what? Even with that, Travis, depending on what you do, like even construction to a degree will get done. Now, mind you, we don't have a sustainable housing market. I don't know if that's what you're saying, what you do, but we have 3D printing houses now, right? So we have machines that are 3D printing houses. And this is what I'm saying, walking into the future. Right now, we're making houses that are highly unsustainable. They drive up energy costs. They require petrol fuel. They require all this international trade of plastics and crap that we shouldn't be making. All of it can be made from hemp. Right? Robots can literally grow the hemp, grab the hemp, and build a house right at the same time on the same property. So we actually can solve those type of problems, and we can build houses that don't break down. We can build houses that are more sustainable, where the pipes are actually in the walls that are insulated so that they don't freeze. So we can do all of that and reduce maintenance. Like, that's the whole idea of getting better, is using automation so that we don't have as much maintenance. Right now, money is in maintenance, right? It's like a car. They used to make money in selling the car. Now they make money fixing the car. Why? So would they make a car that works better, that has less maintenance, or have been making cars that has more maintenance? Now, maintenance goes down, right? But they have ways of making it so you're not doing that maintenance as well, right? They got the engines now, they encase them. I used to work on my cars all the time. I rebuilt my Volkswagen Bug engine. I replaced all types of stuff. I think my engine in the, I had a 300ZX Nissan. I love doing all that stuff, but now the engines are encased. Some of them have key locks where you can't even touch them. You void your warranty if you go anywhere near. So they're making money on, what is that called? Planned obsolescence, right? So they actually design unsustainable societies because it makes them more money. Give more than you take, you always have plenty. There's always plenty, Teresa. That's why I tell people, plant tomatoes, you always have tons, and give them away. Plant cucumbers and give them away. Nothing wrong with giving things away. We got to get past our greedy mindset. We teach our kids, I know, Teresa, we teach our kids, don't be greedy. Don't be stingy. Share your toys. Hey, hey neighbor, can I borrow your car? No, get out of here. Get off my yard. Actually, you know what? To be honest, I've actually borrowed my neighbor's truck. He actually borrowed his truck once. I had trouble. He did. Well, no, actually, this was before I had a truck. I borrow the truck. I take care of my neighbor. I give him food, love him to death, look out for him. You need me for something, break your leg or something, I need to shovel a driveway. That's what community is, working with your neighbors, and then you can share. You're supposed to share, or we all die. Let me see. It's not a twist of fate. People hate capitalism because they don't get how capitalism works. Money is a tool, a symbol of labor, nothing more. No need to hate nor fear. Nope, don't hate it nor fear it, Ty, but get rid of it. Get it out of here. Don't hate it, don't fear it. It's just a tool. We actually, this is why I love this model. Utilize it to make the problems it has go away. And then make it go away. Nothing wrong with money. And then I guess money can stay. People want money to stay, you know, it can stay. But as long as people don't die from it, it's a good thing. This is how you use money in its positive aspects. Gosh, that hurt to say. That hurt. That, oh man, did you see? Ah, smoke in my brain. Ow, that hurt. Use the positive aspects of money and then make it go away. Doesn't have to be here. The elites must be doing a lot of labor then, since they can't just print money out of thin air. No, yeah, exactly, Ty, because money doesn't grow on trees. It seems like utopian, wish it was widely implemented. I don't think it is, Ivana. I don't think utopia will ever exist. Like, we're gonna have problems. We're still gonna have problems. Like I said, as a programmer, I have work to do. I'm not doing 3 hours a week. We got to solve these problems. Why? Because we want violence to go away. We want human conflict to go away. Everybody conflicts over resources, you know. So I'm scared of the name utopia. I don't like it because it's not utopian. It's not like, yay, we all get to run and play. It's like, no, we all get to run and play a lot more than we do now. We get to run and play so we don't become psychopaths and make psychopathic children. But there's still work to do. You know, it's just the goal is to make work go away. Things that humans suck at, human labor, to make that go away. And once we make that go away, humans become free again. And here comes the oligarchs military to shut it down. Sorry. I know, right, Nora? See, but this is why I tell people now it's time to talk. Now's their time to do it. I mean, I would join the community, but of course, they see that coming. That's why it's not in the news. And the Democrats don't talk about it. Republicans don't talk about it. Green Party doesn't talk about it. They find new green deals to keep you a slave in the monetary system, right? They don't actually talk about it. But what they'll do is they'll try to ban it, outlaw it. When these little sustainable communities start up, these little cob villages, they'll create new tax laws and things to make sure that they don't work. This one's pretty solid, though. They'd have to literally ban it right out. But if the majority support it, if the majority like it, if you can get the majority of human beings to say, you know what, I want to be free. If you can get the majority of slaves to not want to be on the plantation and pick cotton anymore and want something better for their children, it works. That's why now is the time to talk. A thoughtful strategy for the next step in social evolution. Exactly, Kevin. Not a utopia, but just the next step. Utopia can be the world we leave to our progeny. Dystopia is an alternative. Right, exactly. You know what? And I mean, and on that, like every generation is the next generation, if done right, it's a utopia, right? Like think about going back, like I gave the example, where was I? I had to go to a funeral. I was in Tennessee. I think Tennessee. I think it's Memphis. Is Memphis is Memphis where the big pyramid is? Memphis has that big, what is that big pyramid? That Bass Pro Shops. And you cross that the Mississippi. You think about people crossing the Mississippi going back 200 years ago. We live in a utopia going back 50 years ago. I mean, think about it. We click a few buttons and like we know the answers to everything. The Google man used to get, you know, like I tell people the Google man, I tell my kids, we used to have a Google man. What the hell is a Google man? He knocked on the door. Oh, his name wasn't a Google man. His name was the World Book man and the Encyclopedia Britannica man. Our world didn't change for a whole year until the new encyclopedia got there, right? You know, but we live in a utopia. Instead of having to wait, kids now are like sitting right in class. I got homework to do. I got to find out what the Magna Carta is. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, there we go. Okay, teacher, this is what it is. Like, we live in a utopia now. We can grow all the food and build all the houses. This is a total utopia to previous generations. So utopia exists maybe from a linear perspective. maybe. But it's never a true utopia. There's always a next step we got to take for the next generation. Like the whole utopian mindset, I don't like, because it's this idea that we get somewhere and we're done. And we're never done. We always got to do better for the next generation. That's our only purpose as adults, is to make sure we do better. We spot the problems. We spot the oligarchs. We spot the Republicans and Democrats and get them the hell out of here. Get this system and this model out of here. We want to give them something better. And then they'll spot the problems with the Ubuntu. If we go that way, they'll spot the problems with the Venus. Get that crap out of here. To keep the continual progression, keep moving forward and doing progress in a conservative mindset. Some things we shouldn't be moving forward on yet. Let's slow down. Let's be conservative on that. Critical thought. All right, let me do the last couple comments. I'm gonna get out of here. I know I said that like an hour ago. Someone will get greedy. How is that dealt with? Somebody will get greedy, but they can get greedy all they want, nor there's nothing they can do, right? There's no real, I mean, the system allots for money to keep moving forward, but there's nothing really you can do. There's no military, there's no police, people are free. Nobody's a psychopath. Nobody has to steal and rob. Most people rob because of lack. Most people become psychopaths because they don't have. Now, there's a possibility, I imagine, that it'll take a couple generations for the true psychopaths that are genetic psychopaths, not the ones that have the genetic predisposal that we make worse through our monetary society, that they exist. But people can get greedy all they want. There's nothing to get greedy with. Everybody has everything they need. Everybody's driving a Ferrari. Everybody lives in a nice hemp mansion. And it's like, okay, what's the point of stealing? In fact, at that point, you're not even locking your doors. Like, oh, you want my stereo? Take it. I'd pick up another 3 on my way home. There's no reason to steal because nothing has a cost. Everything's made by robots, and that's the beauty of automation. And this is why I'm telling people we've never had free market capitalism. That's another thing Ron is right on. We've never had it. If you have free market capitalism, the price of everything continues to go down. Has the price of everything in America continued to go down? Not at all. The price of everything goes up. Because this isn't free market capitalism. This isn't even capitalism. This is cronyism wrapped in corporate socialism. That's actually what this is. The corporations have welfare and socialism. The people have starved the Hunger Games. I would love to like this, spend more time in nature. Imagine that, Ivana. What would you be like if you had more time in nature? You decide, you know what? I'm gonna go walk about for 2 months. And you go walk about. You just can't do that. Yeah, you can. Just go walk. I see Ivana just walking in the woods. Oh, I'm hungry. And I want a pizza. And here comes a drone. Not an Amazon drone, free drone. Ubuntu drone. Lands and puts the pizza in your hand. I'll eat some pizza. Oh, damn it, I forgot to bring my tent. I wasn't even thinking. Here comes the drone again with a tent. Drops a robot and it builds a tent for you and you get in your, and it's not even utopia. Like, this is like old technology. We just use this technology to murder people and steal their resources. You know, now we just use the technology to help people be happy so they don't have to be all drugged up and fight over money. All right, let me see. Gerard, your show is great. You know it. My show, number one, Ty, this ain't a show. You do a show. If y'all don't follow Ty Neftali, y'all should. That's a show. That's a show. You put thought, creativity, art, artistic intelligence, and all of that stuff in your show. You got a show, and I love it. I never miss a Ty show. Half the time, though, I'm driving. I almost died watching the show. Did I say that? I'm gonna get in trouble. I had a police knocking on my door in a minute. You've been driving watching Ty Neftali videos? That's a show. I just turn the camera on. I'm like, stop being stupid. It's not really a show. I'm just running my mouth, having a discussion with people. I would love to get it to a show someday, but I don't have time, which is why I'm going down in the comments now. I gotta get the hell out of here. Gotta go. I got a bag of cotton and stuff, yo. I got a lot of cotton and stuff in this bag. Contracts is a thing. Absolutely, contracts is a thing, and contracts is between you and that other person. Ain't got nothing to do with me. You make a contract. Brother Travis and I make a contract between the car and the chicken. He gonna give me a chicken, I'm gonna give him a car. Good to go. That's a contract. Government don't need to be nowhere nil in it, nor taxed. What are you doing with all the chickens? Well, you gotta have chickens, Travis. You know what I tell people is if your government really cared for you, if welfare, they actually wanted that system to work, and they don't. They give people the means to feed themselves. They give people chickens and a little bit of land and some seeds. Saying take care of themselves. They don't do that. They give them food stamps. They give them they give them little TANF credits and things, right? Because they want to keep them enslaved even more. They don't even have money to be enslaved. They got to be given the money to be enslaved. Everything is slavery. Anybody ever see Minority Report? We're there. We're there. The Hunger Games. A lot of good movies, Ty, explain this. We all gonna die. Yes, Ty, we all gonna die, baby. All gonna die. We all gonna die. Some of us are gonna make a better world for these kids before we get the hell out of here and die. Others are gonna make it worse. Others are gonna perpetuate it. We just need to stop perpetuating it. Let me get these colony ships out of here. Got colonizers using drones, and people probably watching like, why is there a ship floating in the air? What the hell is wrong with them? Get that out of there. Get that out of there too. Always look in the hole, people. Always look where they don't want you to look. They don't like this idea. They don't like Michael Tellinger. That's why I like the idea. That's enough. That's enough information for me. That's all I need to know. You must chase money, right, Brother Robert? Because they want you to chase money. Because if you chase money, you'll fight other people who have less of it. You'll fight other people who have more of it. And as long as people are fighting, nobody's worried about the people who control the money. All right, let me get down. I really got to get down. I got to get down. I got to get down. I love this discussion. It's a great discussion, Brother Robert. Loved your video the other day. I can't wait to see more from you. Today's scarcity must be enforced. Right, it's artificial scarcity. They're artificially starving people, literally. Literally, what they're genociding in Yemen, they're doing it all throughout America. You are literally being starved into conflict. They're keeping things from you to raise prices. And that's the beauty of being one of the controllers of money and the prices of markets. The beauty of oligarchies. If you can just get the people fighting with each other, they can't do anything to change anything because they hate each other more than they love the people they vote for. Like, you ever think about that? I was thinking about that the other day. It's like, I just watch people, like, they don't like Kamala. They don't like Bernie. They actually, most people I know, they stand against everything they stand for. They don't like Trump. They don't like Obama. They don't like Clinton. They actually stand against everything those people stand for the most part. They just are scared to death of the other side. You know how awesome you would be as an oligarch if you controlled two political parties and you didn't have to do anything. All you had to say is, I'm a run, and I got millions of people sending me money ready to vote for me. I didn't even do anything. I didn't even say anything. I just made promises on things I've never delivered. I didn't explain how I'm going to deliver them. Then you don't have to change anything. And that's why nothing changes in America. It's an oligarchy. And even if you believe in a political system, you're not even empowering it to change anything. You're just telling them, I'm scared of the other people. You don't have to do anything. You know, it's a fear-based system. All right, let me see. I really got to get down to the bottom. Let me cue the last music. I got to pee. I got to get out of here. Did you just say you got to pee on this thing? Yeah, I do. I'm honest with people. Y'all don't lie to people. Let's be honest with people. I got to get out of here. I got to go pick my cotton. I got to pee. I've been drinking coffee all morning. I'm about to explode right here. I'm sorry. Thoughts pop in my head. I can't tell you everything that comes up. There's some things that come up not supposed to come out. I just thought popped in my head. Let me see. You can convert Jeeps into a nice little camper easy. Yes, you can, Ty. We need to have the sustainable Olympics. I want to see people in the Olympics building tiny houses. That's what I want to see. That's the Olympics I watch. I love fixing old vehicles. Didi, and you should. I think, who was that? Cuba? Cuba showed us the way. They got all them old cars going. They can keep them going. You don't need to keep buying these new murder vehicles. You don't need to keep buying the new slave-made, slave mineral vehicles. Fix your old car. Right? Let's get robots to build the new cars, and everybody can drive new hemp cars that drive on hemp fuel in a sustainable way. And they'll be AI driven. Maybe, I don't know. I'm a little out on the AI. Like, I know they want that 5G and 6G so they can get all the automated cars and the robots driving, murdering, killing people. You can't run from the police. They can stop you. The IRS can stop your car anytime they want. They just press a button. Oh, damn it. Where the hell Deborah at? Where's she? Oh, she right there. She on I-95. Okay. Beep. Deborah's car like, hell, my car just stopped. Like, oh, we'll be out there to get you in about 4 hours. We can get somebody to come out there and pick you up. You're going to sit in your car 4 hours, wait for the police to come get you. No, I don't think they need that kind of power. I think people who murder nations don't need that kind of power. No school like the old school. Yes, Ty, because the old school always hands down amazingly wise information. We always hand down to the next generation good information. Mark Twain traveled Mississippi on a raft. Yes, he did. and then he became John Bolton in the next life, and now he murders people. I'm saying, doesn't he look like Mark Twain? John Bolton looked like me. He's like a murdery Mark Twain. I wish the world would take the fight to the vampires of the world. Prophecy wise, it looks like we really are going to wait for Jesus. Lots of laughter. Yeah, well, Ty, we got to stop having adult heroes, and Jesus did not say wait for him. He did not say. I think people will. I think we got to talk more though. We got to talk more what that fight looks like. It's a walk away. Some people still think that fight's with cannons and guns, not just walking away from the system, being free, having in Ubuntu-like communities. So I think we got to talk about that first. So that's why it's about spreading the message. So I appreciate y'all sharing, liking, and subscribing. You got to go YouTube and subscribe. I'm trying to tell you. The Global Alliance is not going to let me stay here. If you have not gone to YouTube and subscribed to my channel, you will be not watching me for long. They have no interest. We got a lot of good people in these organizations, don't get me wrong, but a lot of my friends have left and are gone and ain't coming back. People get deleted every day. They don't like stuff like this. Humans and problems go hand in hand. Utopia is not possible, but a better world is. It always is. We can always do better for the kids than we did for ourselves, but we got to want to, right, Lori? We don't always want to. Sometimes it's just better to live a better life and say screw the kids. And that's unfortunately what we've been doing for a few generations now. You're good with the sound effect this morning. Okay, did I do sound effects, Jackie? Half the time I don't remember what I said, girl. Did I do sound effects? I didn't know I did. I don't know. I'm getting old, girl. I don't know half the time what I say. Love to do the Appalachian Trail. Who wants to join me? Yes, Christina, we should be able to, y'all. We should just be saying, but hey, everybody meet at the Appalachian. We'll go on the Appalachian Trail, just go walking around picking ginseng. Then we should do that. Is that show back on? That was a good show. They run around picking ginseng. Anybody watch that? That was a good show. Watching all the poor, white, privileged people in the Appalachian Mountains that ain't got a pot to piss in, living in shacks. All those white privileged people. All of those people that don't even have parents. Running around picking ginseng. It was a great show. Be exposed to things, people. And all the black people in the ghetto living on all the free money. Ain't got a pot to piss in, nothing to throw it out, and the police chase them down like slaves every day in the streets. Expose yourself to different types of people, and you realize everybody's got the same problems. Don't forget fashion. Yep, that's Ty. Fashion, baby. Fashion. Get up. Show you these tight buns. I can't show you my tight buns. They're not tight yet. They're getting there. They're getting there. I'm getting my Christmas buns out, y'all. I was eating over the holidays. I got 2 pair of pants I fit now. I'm convinced I'm gonna fit all 8 pair of my pants. What I did, I had to saw downstairs, and I'm working on the floor and the wall upstairs, and I leave the saw downstairs. So every time I gotta cut a piece of wood, I don't do that lazy thing. You know, contractors, I'm gonna make my 10 cuts and I'm gonna write them down on paper, and I'm gonna go cut all my 10 cuts so I save time and efficiency. Like, nope, not gonna do that. I know I've been eating too many Twinkies. I had a good holiday, y'all. I spent a good winter time. It's springtime. It's time for me to get my butt active and get back to working. So I was like, oh no, I put the saw downstairs. Every cut of wood I went downstairs to get. That was my gym. That's why I have a gym membership. I make things hard for myself. Who is that guy who has the videos? He says, do something that sucks every day. It's good to do something that sucks. It sucks. I'm going up and down. Every little cut, like, oh damn, I gotta cut a little cut. I'm going downstairs. Back upstairs, put that piece. No, I cut it wrong. Back downstairs. I'm doing like, I don't know, 50 flights of steps a day. So it was good. I'm gonna have some tight buns, but no, I ain't gonna show my buns on TV. That's tight. Fashion. I ain't got no fashion. I got on khakis. It's not fashionable. Ain't no fashion happening here. But do something that sucks every day. He does great videos. I don't know his name. Do something that, and he was on Joe Rogan too. Do something that sucks every day, and you don't need to be in the gym. Life isn't supposed to be too good. You're supposed to exercise. All right, let me see. Are we done? Anybody got some last words for us so we can get out of here? Bam! I used to like those PBS ones where people true to life True to live line colonists. I used to like those PBS ones with people true to live line colonists. Brenda, I don't know what you're saying, girl. I don't know. It's Friday. Brenda, I don't speak Brenda. I don't know. I don't know what you're saying. I'm sorry. That fashion, darling, fashion. Yes, to me, we never needed this tech. It's all introduced by beings that just want us to use by proxy to shape the world in the way they imagine their liking. Right, Ty, and it's all convenient tech, like it's trash. It's all just, it's wasted technology. It's technology that caters to our life not sucking, our life in us not doing anything that sucks. And we got to do some things that sucks, y'all. Our body is made in suckology. If you think about it, we evolved physiologically in suckology. We're not ready to stop that. We don't have that pill yet. We don't have that vibration yet where you hit that vibrating tongue. You know how that thing they had in the Mayans and the Egyptians. Heals your body and your abs start reappearing from underneath the winter coating, the winter warm coating and a six-pack. I want a six-pack. Got a six-pack. I want 17-inch arms. And because your frequency, not matter, the resonance from that frequency makes that muscle structure. I know, sound crazy, but I don't think the Egyptians were crazy. I don't think the Mayans were crazy. I think we're crazy. You know, so we're not there yet. So you got to do things that suck because we evolved our body sucking. Just like we evolved not taking vaccines or flu shots. We evolved going outside and letting things bite us, call them mosquitoes. Let them things bite you, get your little sickness, your body learns to fight it, then you pass it down to your kids so your kids can fight it. Not giving your immune system outsourced over to a pharmaceutical industry that may not even be there in 10 years. The weakest kids on this planet in the future are going to be the ones whose parents got all them flu shots and vaccines that have not been exposed to real immunity. They talk about herd immunity, and you need to have multi-generational immunity the way it's worked for 1 billion years or more. They're not as smart as they say they are, I'm trying to tell you. But you can do what you want. Do what you want. I don't tell people what to do. When it comes to that, ask your doctor. And I agree with that too. Ask your doctor, because I ain't got one. I ask my doctor all the time, because I ain't got one. Why? Because I stopped taking the drugs. I started having a garden. I started drinking smoothies. I started eating healthy. I stopped eating all the damn Twinkies, and I only eat my apple pies in the winter, and I try not to get them the real sugary ones, the natural sugar flavor. And guess what? I don't have a doctor. So sure, yep, I ask my doctor all the time. All my doctors, all of them. I get them all together, and I ask them not a damn thing, because they're all sick. They're all on drugs. They're overweight. They don't have gardens. They don't drink smoothies, and they believe in that world. That Minority Report world. I don't. When I find a doctor that's healthy as I am, when I find a doctor that gets up in the morning, can't wait to go to work, when I find a doctor that doesn't smoke, drink, dance, have to drink alcohol to be happy in life and gotta drive a big fast car and live in a big house, when I find a doctor that's actually healthy, that doesn't get colds or flus or coughs or any of those things that I haven't gotten in over 10 years, when I find a doctor that's half that healthy, that's when I'll have a doctor. Until then, you're not a healer, you're a chemist. And I don't want any of your philosophies, because they're all based in pharmaceutical industry philosophies that own the medical schools. Nobody got a last word for us? Until humans evolve enough to love and care for each other and nature, we shouldn't be evolving technology any further, unless that technology helps people on the planet. Amen. Susan got the last word. Absolutely. Until we evolve to care more for each other than ourselves, shouldn't have that technology. Every bit of technology, every engineer, software engineer, programmer, developer, every finance, all investment, everything needs to be for the positive progression of the human race that helps us out of poverty, scarcity, violence, and conflict. Nothing else should get creative. Nothing. No more convenient, slave, convenient life technology crap. That's what sentience looks like, sister. That's what it is. You know, and for you selfish people who don't believe in that, when you save the world, when we fix the world, you're actually saving yourself too. You can be selfish. Just think about everybody else with your selfishness. That's all I'm saying. Listen, this is Gerard. I got to get out of here. Love y'all to death. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Great discussion, family. Session is adjourned. I don't even know what that means, but yeah, it's adjourned.